welcome to GMHBA Stadium here at Geelong for a top-of-the-table clash, if you don't mind, on a Thursday night. We have got Geelong and Melbourne. Melbourne on top, Geelong second, of course. 12-3 Melbourne, 11-4 the Cats. Can't wait for this one to get underway. It will be a ripping contest and a good crowd building, and I think most tickets gone here in what is being a renovated stadium, as you would know at the moment. Brian Taylor with you. Got Joey Montagna calling all the action with me. Daisy's on special, so is Kate McCarthy. Sarah Ollie is with us as well, and Ash Chua is here on a Thursday night. Joey, good evening and welcome to you.
Good evening, BT. Always enjoy coming down to GMHBA. It's a great venue to call the footy, and it's a great venue too, but this box, it's nice and intimate down here in the front row, isn't it, BT? I know you like your room in the commentary box, and all four of us are all snuggled up nice and tight. So
Kate's made it very tight, getting four on the front row. And notice Sarah Ollie sneaking down the steps as well and getting just down on the ground floor as well. So we would love that, Sarah. A big welcome to you, Sarah, by the way.
Yeah, good evening, BT. Good evening to you all. Just want to start on the coaching merry-go-round, or Joey, the potential coaching merry-go-round. North Melbourne, another tumultuous week, I should say, with those leaked emails from a high-profile coterie member. This comes amidst Jeff Walsh's full-scale review of the club. Not to mention North have lost 13 games on the trot by more than 40 points. David Noble, will he be there next year?
Oh, boy, straight into it.
Why not?
Is that for me?
Why not? Why not?
Not even a hello.
Gee, wow. Well, look, Sarah, it does seem unlikely, doesn't it, from everything? Everything's pointing to...
Why does it seem unlikely?
Well, because Sarah just mentioned 13 losses in a row by 40 points. There hasn't been any improvement in his second season at the club. There's now some, issues internally, going back to even round 3 when he had to apologise to the playing group. There's now some other sort of frustrations at a high level. I'm no rocket scientist, BT, but it does point towards it being more unlikely than likely, I would have thought.
Daisy, good evening. Kate, good evening to you. Sorry, I forgot to mention it before.
No, it's great to be here, BT, working alongside you all. I don't know about that one. Obviously, you don't want to be the lynchman in this situation. What you're seeing out there isn't great, but I'll be interested to see what the review that Jeff Walsh does and what that finds, whether it is wholly and solely the fault of David Noble or whether or not there's some blame that falls on the assistants. Yes, obviously the man at the top is the one where everything should go through. But I think back to the Ben Mackay situation the last couple of weeks, him playing up forward, the fact that was an idea going in from someone at match committee, whether it was the whole coaching staff or just the coach himself, but then to leave that for the best part of the full game against Adelaide and then 3 quarters last week, why isn't somebody sitting in the box saying, let's move this, let's change this isn't working? And I think that's the fascinating thing, whether or not that was happening and then David Noble saying, no, I'm the coach, stick it up your jumper, or whether or not that isn't happening. So I hope it's a wait and see. I'm always a very glass half full sort of guy. I don't want to write anyone off, but the effort last week, it's pretty hard to see any improvement coming.
It's certainly clear that it's not just the coach. There's a lot deeper issues than just the coach. We all acknowledge that. They're looking for a new list manager. There's talk about the CEO, the football manager as well, and probably the assistants, and of course the talent they've got on their list. So there are a number of factors, Daisy, but I think, do you agree, though, that there needs to be some sort of change?
Definitely has to be changed, but whether or not you get someone else in that's, going to provide the same outcome with the same list, at the end of the day, if you don't have the cattle, you can have the best game plan in the world, but it's not probably going to change the results. So whether or not you find yourself in a situation where the Blues did, where you turn over 3 or 4 coaches in a space of, 8 years, but the results don't really change until the list improves and matures.
Yeah, well, whatever happens, there's obviously a lot of disharmony at the club. You could see even from that point that we were talking about last week, Days, with the Mackay incident, leaving him at forward for 3 quarters of the match. If someone has the idea to then change it, you need to speak up. But there feels like there's maybe not the avenue to speak up at the moment. And that could be from David Noble. It could be internal. It could be from somewhere else completely different. But it's clear that football club is a little bit disharmonious at the moment.
What else we got, Sarah?
Well, sticking to the coaching theme, one coach that is staying on the merry-go-round, Kate, is Stuart Dew, re-signed for an additional 2 years, locked away until the end of 2024. Is it the right move? Do you like Stuart Dew, or should the Suns have waited till the end of the season, perhaps done their due diligence, just to see where the Suns end up, because they're still sitting outside the 8?
No, I think he's made the improvement that we needed to see this year. I think they've worked hard. They are in contention for finals. I think whether it happens this year, but I heard the boys talking about it on the midweek rub this week, and it kind of does put a little bit of pressure on him for next season as well, which questions will be asked straight away if they don't get that progression to making finals or almost making finals again, then the questions start to pop up. So they've put him on the 2-year deal, obviously, for a reason, which doesn't gives him the extra year security. But I'd say the pressure is well and truly on him again for next year. But I think he's earned himself another chance.
I think it's fantastic. I've been a big fan of Stewie Jews and love the fact that they've actually put the faith back in him. He's been working his backside off again with a group that had some talent but had issues along the way of falling off late in the season. So for him to straighten the ship, to get them playing some really good footy, and again, the argument is they're not going to play finals. He's in his 5th year up there. Whether or not that is the improvement that they wanted or desired, you could actually see they've gotten better throughout this season. That actually scared the crap out of me, those fireworks. So, for him to get that now, and it is the pressure of next year, it's going to be a big thing, but an easy sell over the pre-season to try and find improvement because players want to play finals. They're not there just to be competitive.
Boy, oh boy.
That's the fireworks going off down there and scaring the crappers out of everyone. Come out.
Thank Christ the cameras aren't rolling up.
You got a little one to leave us with before we go to the break?
Yeah, well, it is Isaac Smith's 250th match. I'm just wondering what you all think if he gets chaired off with a guard of honour at the end of it all. Joe?
I think guards of honour need to be a little bit more sacred. I think 300 games, retirements, but I don't mind it. You can't knock a club for giving a guard of honour, but I think maybe it needs to be a little bit more, it's held more for special occasions.
100% he'll be chaired off. And I would say down here in front of the Geelong faithful, they've embraced him. There will be
not chaired off. Guard of honour from the opposition.
Guard of honour from the opposition, no. But from his own team.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Give him a ribbon.
BT?
Everyone gets a ribbon these days. You finish 10th in a race at the under-12s and you get a ribbon.
He's out there with his little child, BT.
Little
great,
kids. Just
great
the
to see.
Occupational health and safety
with those fireworks
of
too.
Little kids on the oval is just extraordinary to me. I'm amazed the AFL haven't cracked down on it. 250 is not enough to do anything. You own nothing at 250. It's 300, for the double line-up by both sides. And look, you might get a little chair off to the perimeter piping fence. If you're
real party pooper, BT.
But you've got to earn it, Joey. How many did you play, Joey?
287. I didn't get chaired. I never got chaired off or a guard of honour from anyone. And I'm okay. No, I'm fine with it.
Nor should you.
I don't think I'll quite get to 250 with 10 games a year, but
how many?
258, 197 good ones. So I allowed myself to get chaired off at the very end.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, well, I just think that we've got to look at this and we've got to look at the banners.
How many for you, BT? How many games?
300, but 250 is bordering, but also probably got to get rid of the banners at this stage because they're no longer relevant.
But how many games for you? 300 less 160?
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't realise you were asking me. I didn't play 100, so, I'm not very good at all. I'm just a scrapper, but kick 500 goals. Anyway, we might take a break on Triple M football. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M footy preview for the all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
From Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Repco. Show your card and save this month at Repco. Driven by passion for 100 years.
This is the Triple M Footy preview for TaylorMade Golf, the all-new stealth driver for TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. It's an absolute ripper. Joey is here to call the action. Daisy and Kate in the specials. Sarah's down on the boundary. Ash has arrived up in the box up the back. And Ash Chew, a very good afternoon to you for the Red Z lending stats. What do you got for us between these two?
Yeah, good evening, BT. Melbourne, they've only won 3 times at this venue since 1990, but they've won the past 3 against the Cats, of course. The last time these two sides met was in the 2021 prelim, and the Demons recorded their greatest ever winning margin against Geelong by 83 points. But you look at the Cats, over the past 6 weeks, they're number 1 in defence, only conceding 59 points per game, and they're number 1 for scores from turnovers from their past 4 matches. But Jeremy Cameron, BT, since round 3, past 13 games, he's the number 1 rated player at Geelong, averaging 17 disposals, number 1 in the AFL for score involvements, and of course leads the Coleman medal with 46 majors.
100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today. One more question before you go, Ash, please.
Yep.
In relation to the ramifications of the ladder with this game here tonight.
Here we go. Demons win, they'll be 1 game clear. Lose, will more than likely drop to second. For Geelong, if they were to win by 3 to 4 goals, they'll be on top of the table, level on points with the Demons, but will have a superior percentage. Lose could drop down to 4th if Brisbane and Freo win.
Thanks, Ash. Red Z lending loans for the self-employed. Let's get downstairs for Bob Jane T-Marts. Bob Jane T-Marts look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or online today, bobjane.com.au. Big hello to Rodney down there at Lawn as well. Sarah, welcome to you.
Good evening, BT. I tell you what, I'm surrounded by a crowd of Cat supporters, so if they don't get up, it might get a little bit feral down here, but some big ins for both sides. Quite literally big for the Demons with Max Scorn and Luke Jackson returning. And tell you what, they're not too shabby for the Cats either. Selwood comes in, as does Sam DeConning.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Sam DeConing, of course. Triple M C-Bus super special comments. C-Bus Super, making hard work pay off. Joey, don't laugh at me. It's DeConing. We've had this argument before.
You did correct, Sarah.
And it's nice for Sarah to get,
That's right.
She'll get it right next time.
Yes, Sam DeConing.
Anyway, C-Bus Super Specials, what's happening in this game tonight?
Well, this is going to be a cracking game, isn't it, Daisy, Kate? Because really, as we said, we've probably got the number 1 and 2 seeds, let's be honest. This is the most highly anticipated game of the season. As Chew just alluded to, Geelong's probably got the better profile at the moment, defensively, offensively, and in the contest. Melbourne still trying to find their best offensively, but we all agree Melbourne's best is better than anyone's in the competition. The 2 big boys, the Rucks, are back for the Demons. That'll give them an advantage. But it's Geelong's forward line that if they're going to win, it's going to be off the back of Jeremy Cameron, Hawkins, Stengel, etc., kicking a big enough score against this elite Melbourne defence.
Yeah, and I think there's been a lot of talk about the midfield battle coming into this one, but that's the one that I want to focus on is Lever, May, Brayshaw up against Cameron, Hawkins and Stengel. And I think that's where it's going to be won or lost. Obviously, the engine room clearances and score from stoppage are really important with these two teams. When we look at the prelim final, obviously Melbourne scoring 101 points from stoppage in the prelim, which is just massive and the most that Geelong have ever conceded. But yeah, I think that matchup between Geelong's forwards and Melbourne's defenders is one to really keep a close eye on, Days.
Yeah, it will be. I'm intrigued about the midfield battle as well and whether or not each team plays a tagger. We know that Harms can do a job. He did a really good job on Lachie Neale only a few weeks ago now. And we know that for the Cats, they've got O'Connor in there. So does he go to Clayton Oliver? We know when Fremantle were good enough to beat Melbourne that Oliver got sat on by James Aish and had some real impact. So we talk a little bit about what you've got up your sleeve too with these two teams predicted to go deep into September, whether or not you try it at stages throughout the game and leave a little bit there just to see what you've got. So it's going to be an intriguing battle. That forward line you speak of though, Jeremy Cameron the first in the Coleman medal, Tom Hawkins coming third, Little Stengel, how good's he been? 13th at the moment. That's 119 goals combined over the season. Good luck stopping that, but if there's one team that can, it probably is the D's.
Yeah, you keep an eye on it for some of the matchups just to see if teams are keeping something up their sleeve or if they are going full ball. Kate, we know about the Melbourne midfield. They are three absolute bulls, Petrarca, Viney and Oliver, but Geelong have got three that can match them. A fit Patrick Dangerfield, Joel Selwood coming in off the bye and having a break, and of course Guthrie and young Atkins who's gone in there making a big difference.
Yeah, I think the Atkins rotation through there has paid off dividends for Geelong, so we'll see what he can do tonight against the best of the best.
Well, here's the best in the business, Brian Taylor, to call the socks off this one for Triple M footy.
Umpires Justin Power, Simon Meredith and Robert Finlay. Simon Meredith to bounce it. Max Gorner's back in the centre. Let's see what happens with him against Reece Stanley here at the first bounce. Doesn't really jump into him with all that much power. Out of the middle, it's number 35 for the Cats in Dangerfield. Entry inside 50. Difficult bouncing ball. Hawkins with a great little handball out wide to Stengel. Stengel has a pling from about 30 and misses. Would have been a quick one inside 15 seconds. A minor score for the Cats here to start us off on the Repco scoreboard. Show your card and save this month at Repco, driven by passion for over 100 years. Big welcome to Repco.
What'd you see, centre bounce, Daisy?
Oh, it was interesting. I thought Pig Hibbard might have gone with Stengel. We know how dominant he has been, but Salem was the one that went to him, so he got caught tracking the ball. That's how Stengel got out the back in a big pocket of space.
Ben Brown, big strong contested mark. Good start for him, half-back. Out of sight here, GMHBA Stadium. So he's kicking to the right of the broadcast. He's going to go long down the line. Gawn's got himself in position. Blitzarves, who started in the centre bounce. In front, no one could take the mark. Dangerfield, wrapped up in a strong tackle. Mitch Duncan it is from Christian Petrarca, just forward of the wing. Attacking side for the Demons. Geelong with the only score on the board there, one behind. Melbourne get the score.
Stanley the win there. Little knockdown, Langdon, the running machine out wide. And Ash, does he not play a lot of 100% of game time in games, Langdon?
Yeah, he's right up there. He plays about 95% game time, BT.
Yeah, he's extraordinary. Does a lot of running out in that wing, particularly the G where he can get really wide. Boundary throw in here in front of the newsstand out there on that far wing. The other one in progress at the city end. Little kick inside 50 for the Demons by Viney. Pickett is there applying the tackle immediately. They crack in left, right and centre. No particular winner there. Blitzarves hanging over the top. Trying to get it out was Alex Neil-Bullen. Got the little handball here to Viney. Viney gives it further wide to Langdon. Langdon jammed up on the boundary line on his left boot. High ball to full forward. Lots of Cats jumpers. De Koning's got it. Sort of hatched it. Didn't really want to flick it out. He knew there weren't jumpers there. So it's picked up by Langdon. He almost handed Viney the ball. Got the little handball out to Fritz. Sold the dummy right. Went back on the left. Smothered over the line out of bounds. We'll throw it in inside 50 for the Demons.
Demons doing the attacking. They get an opportunity with Gawn in the ruck. Watch for Pickett at ground level. Neil-Bullen's lurking. There is Cozzy Pickett first onto it outside 50. Little underground handball for Gawn. Made it difficult, but he made it look good. Went looking for Oliver by hand. Missed him. This is all happening at the top of the 50. And there's going to be a free kick going the way of James Harms. So an opportunity here for Melbourne. Guthrie stands 52 metres out. Geelong have got lots of numbers back inside their defensive 50. So he's just going to poke a little three-quarter kick towards the pocket. Ben Brown flew. Jack Henry in front got the double fister. And the ball goes out of bounds. 25 around from the Demons' goal. They're yet to score. Geelong one behind. Triple M Repco scoreboard.
Throw it in. Deep inside 50 here for the Demons. Gawn and Stanley go at it again. Stanley's got the old patch, number one, the old style jumper that they had. In fact, they all have. The retro jumpers, of course. They are very old. I think they're cotton. Little knockdown from Gawn to Dangerfield. Stepped through traffic. Got it on there to Guthrie. That was Cam. Little fumbly kick along the ground. Not so impressive. Viney again. Ran into a Stengel aggressive tackle that drove him backwards a metre or two with a little bit of help from Cam Guthrie. Throw it up again. Still inside attacking 50 here for the Demons.
Contested game to start. Hard to get a clear disposal. 3.5 minutes in. Close does for the Cats. Gets it towards the wing. Dangerfield. Rowan it is, in fact. And now May pumps it back towards centre half forward. Geelong have the numbers. There's De Koning. That handball sold Buse under all sorts of pressure. Wrapped up from Cozzy Pickett. I said ball up, 45 out.
Well, we know we've got the two best defensive teams coming in, and that's what we've seen early. Both teams finding it hard to penetrate inside forward 50 or find an uncontested or easy possession at the moment.
Dangerfield off one step, just boots it out of congestion towards the wing, but again, Stephen May set up well. They went without the footy, so a turnover here, chance for the Cats. Stengel, good kicking board, terrific courage from Brayshaw. Got the fist in on Gary Rowan. And then we're going to ball up, point of the square. That's terrific courage from Angus Brayshaw.
Yeah, absolutely goal-saving, or something that would have led to a very dangerous inside 50. Went flying across the front of Gary Rowan, just stuck the left mitt out with Rowan coming at full pace the other way.
Kate McCarthy on Triple M football. A shallow entry inside Geelong's 50. Cameron got on the end of a bouncing ball, though, and gave it up to Salem. Now Oliver avoids the tackle by just arching the back, and the kick out wide, and unusual for him, just a little bit of panic in the kick, and it'll be a deliberate out of bounds, and De Koning will have the result and free between wing and a half forward, told to go by the umpire, so just goes sideways to Mitch Duncan, right on the National Tree Day, thanks to Toyota logo out there on the far wing.
He's kick smothered by Ben Brown, did it well. Right on centre wing, out of side, GMHBA. Interesting that Harrison Petty's got the matchup on Jeremy Cameron.
And May is the one, and he's gone to Tomahawk down there. So it's a couple of the big matchups. Still Gary Rowan down there on Pig Hibbert. So it'll be interesting to see if it's Stengel who goes back there, if Pig Hibbert stays on him.
Gawn and Stanley again. Harms came up from half forward into that stoppage, handballed off to Oliver. Again, just blasted forward and blasted it blindly. And Sam De Koning took the mark. Anything early, Shoot, Reds Ed Lenders?
Geelong winning the clearances, +2, but Melbourne winning the territory. Entries are 6-2 Melbourne's way.
Kick from De Koning made it difficult for Henry. It's put him under pressure just inside the boundary line. Well done from Spargo. Might turn the ball over, although Buse goes back and supports, and then Henry again just throws it on the boot just inside the boundary line. Brayshaw picks it up. Try to get the 1-2 with James Jordan again. No easy ball in this one so far. Gary Rowan and Hibbert, strong contest. Oliver dispossessed. Blitz halves wrapped up in a tackle. This is all happening on the wing. Harms, nice pick-up, gives it to Viney, who's got a bit of time and space, centre half forward, sees Fritsch on a lead, takes the mark. 45 out straight in front. Opportunity for the D's to get on the board.
Yeah, it certainly is. And the first clean look, we know about the pressure, we know the anticipation in the lead up to this one, but obviously both teams feeling that out there. A lot of hack kicks, some of them not under a great deal of pressure, but just that perceived pressure, maybe of the occasion, a few mistakes early on from both sides.
33 goals, 14 for the year for Bailey Fritsch. Generally a beautiful exponent of the set shot from right on 50. He strikes it well. D's got the first on the board. It took 7 minutes. On the Triple M Repco scoreboard, they're one straight, Geelong one behind. Show your card and save this month at Repco, driven by passion for 100 years.
Yeah, well, that was just some beautiful link-up through the middle of the ground. Just great connection between a mid and a forward. Harms, who you said, Joey, is playing in a few of the contests there, had pushed up and then just fed the ball out to Fritsch on a lead. You sometimes see those leads ignored, but he had so much separation and just used him beautifully. Melbourne dominating time in forward half, 67% at the moment to Geelong's 33%.
Bailey Fritsch is the interesting one, isn't he? We've spoken a bit about Stengel up the other end. He had an opportunity. Both of them had pretty similar years, averaging the 2 goals, 0.1 a game is Stengel, 2.2 for Bailey Fritsch per game this season. So they both have a lot of ability to hit the scoreboard. An interesting one to watch. Zach Guthrie has the job at the minute on Fritsch.
Bob Jane team up, Sarah.
Big night for the Cats, not just because it is a top-of-the-table clash. They're also celebrating their 10-year premiership reunion. BT, before you get to the math, COVID last year.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Jackson now. A little one back inside to Neil Bullen. Neil Bullen under pressure. Streaming opportunity for Petrarca on the run from 50. And sizzling Melbourne play there. Consecutive goals, and Chris Scott looking a little bemused. 2 straight to 1 behind the Cats on the Triple M Recco scoreboard.
Well, Petrarca played a lot more time forward last week against the Crows. He's definitely started in the midfield, and that just came from a clearance. So beautiful work through, and just ran forward of the footy, was able to get ahead of the defence from Geelong, got the handball received and finished just as you'd expect Christian Petrarca to do.
Just waiting to see on the Harvey Norman what Neil Bullen's impact was in that passage of play, because everybody, it was the rundown tackle. There you go. So his tackle was the reason they got the turnover. Jake Lever came from centre half back, ran past Christian Petrarca, the goal kicker, and got around Neil Bullen in the forward 50, saying well done. So just the importance that Melbourne put on that defensive effort, just shown there.
Fast up by the D's. Got the first couple. And Jackson has gone up in the ruck, but it's going to be a free kick against Stanley. I still never know why they get paid. The ball was on Stanley's head. He had to stand under it. He put up an arm to protect himself from Jackson jumping in his head. And he's given away the free kick. So Luke Jackson from the centre circle goes inside 50. Big pack of players. Brown and Gawn are in there. Geelong got the numbers back there. Selwood started on the bench and was dumped after he kicked that one. And just a little bit to do off the ball between Petrarca and Selwood. I like it. A little bit of spite.
A little bit of young bull, old bull out there at the moment, Joey. The young brigade coming through, taking it right up to the older Geelong Cats.
Stengel a long way from home. Went short to Zach Guthrie and goes wider still. This is Menegola. Halfback flank for the Cats. They trail by 11 points, and he goes long down the line. Hawkins in that contest. Didn't take the mark, but got the crumb. Handball again smothered by Harms. Stephen May's kick smothered, so the Cats turn the ball over. Myers off one step, goes inside 50. Stanley's pushed forward on Jackson. Well done by Luke Jackson. Defended well. Won the ball back for his team, although then young Jake Bow is wrapped up. That's going to be holding the ball. It was Gary Rowan who got him. That's what he's in the side to do. And he'll get the free kick 30 metres out straight in front.
Well, that was a crunching tackle from Gary Rowan. We see it on the Harvey Norman replay. Huge pressure. That's exactly what you want. He looks like he's come to play this evening. A couple of contests, just really thrown his body at it and put his head over the footy.
He has. He's had a real crack, Gary Rowan, hasn't he?
He's fired up, Gary Rowan. And a chance to get the first on the board for the Cats. Just the 1 goal so far this season. He sneaks it home. Geelong get the response. They go to 117. Melbourne 2 straight 12. Triple M Repco scoreboard. We've played 12 minutes first term.
Well, a really nice start for Gary Rowan. We know how much of a confidence player he is, and that tackle there and the involvements he's had early, they don't always translate to possessions, but his ability to put himself in harm's way through the middle there, create a contest, a couple of efforts there, a great rundown tackle, and to kick the goal, brilliant for his confidence. We've spoken a lot about the pressure in this one and how there's a lot of hack kicks out of there, players feeling that pressure. The numbers for both teams, 216 are Geelong, Melbourne running at 197, so a very high pressure game, BT. That's Melbourne going at about an 8 out of 10, Geelong rolling about 9 out of 10.
Daisy Thomas on Triple M Football, Siba Super making hard work pay off, back in the middle, 2 goals to 1. A 5-point advantage with the Demons here, played 12 minutes in this first term. Umpire Powell puts it on the turf. Gawn, magical tap. Got it down to Viney, took him on, got caught by Atkins. That's another tackle that's effective by the Cats. Gee, Blitzarv's claiming it. It's an Atkins ball. Give it to him, mate. Atkins now out of the middle here. They wasted valuable seconds, allowing Melbourne to get organised in defence. Long, deep ball. Lever comes at it. Couldn't hold the mark. Off hands. Spills to Myers. High ball. Rowan coming with pace speed again. He crashed the pack. Cameron was in there. Isaac Smith was in there. He had a red-hot dip as Sparrow takes it out of defence.
The Demons look to transition quickly, although the handball missed Cozzy Pickett, and then he slipped out of bounds. We'll quickly get down to Sarah Ollie boundary. Jed Buse looks a bit proppy.
Yeah, he's a bit sore. He's just on the bike about a metre from us. He's just getting off it now, but he did come to the bench and he was signalling to doctors at his thigh.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be getting in Gary Rowan's way out there tonight. He's just throwing his body at everything. It's great to see.
Gawn just worked Blitzarves off that ruck contest and gets about 30 metres of territory for his team, and the ball goes out of bounds, just forward to the wing for the Demons.
Days, it is unusual for Gary Rowan to play this way. It's almost like something's been said, or else he's set himself a goal.
Yeah, well, obviously only the 3 games on the season, is it? So knowing what's coming up for this football club, you want to be a part of it. And if it does mean at times you have to put yourself in harm's way, come out of yourself and play a different manner, obviously you're going to be willing to do it. But you're 100% right. This isn't something we've seen the tackle and the rundown chases before, but he's want to be in the contest and feel contact at the minute. His first rate.
Free kick from that stoppage went to Blitzarves, handball to Dangerfield, who sends it wide towards half forward. Stephen May couldn't take possession. Here's Stengel, got the speed and then tried to get a check side, but only as far as James Jordan, drifting down from the wing. Takes a mark. Last line of defence. Happy to go short to Petty. The clearance numbers, Geelong seem to be getting on top.
They're at +3, and that was Melbourne's first intercept mark. They're number 1 in the comp, averaging 20 per game.
Yeah, but Geelong give the ball back the least of any team in the competition. So it's with Stephen May, who's got enough time just to have a little bounce, assess his options, and then kick a beautiful long flat ball to Ben Brown. Sam de Koning dropped off him, and Ben Brown took the mark just forward of the wing.
Ben Brown could have a pretty big night with the way that de Koning likes to position himself defensively, so we can expect to see a little bit more of that for Ben Brown tonight.
Long kick inside 50. Geelong, as always, get the numbers back. Tui and Smith just work together, and then the kick goes short across the ground, finds Jack Henry.
He does, and he's got a little bit of time to decide to give the ball by foot to Close, and Close still in the back pocket here for the Cats. Coming up the members' side, if you like. Close just told to go back. Doesn't look like there's a vacant seat in the house. His seat gone here. Close has made a bit of a mess of it, tried to get it over to Connor. It went over the line, and Cameron trying to say it wasn't, but it was over the line. We'll throw it in right where the 50 line intersects the boundary at the Melbourne Footy Club end of the ground. Scores are 7-12 in favour of the Demons. A lot of glass here in the new stand. Big, thick panels of glass that tend to act like magnifying glasses. Boundary throw in. Gawn, knocked down. Viney, swung in the tackle. Spills loose. Little one here for the Cats. Blitzarves, nice foot past Rowan. Almost 50 by Hibberd. Rowan looks into the middle, nothing on that he can make. He's a good kick normally. And he goes down the line of the centre square with a high ball. Hawkins got rid of his man. Now comes back and takes a chest mark. Wonderful body use. A beautiful little snap drifter kick over the top. Magical play by Tom Hawkins in winning the footy and then disposing of it so brilliantly with a weighted kick. That was absolute perfection. And the shot at goal now here for Duncan.
Well, the connection from half back was the key there. Gary Rowan presenting again, full-chested, but didn't want to. He looked up, he saw the one-on-ones and was reluctant to go there, but it was a good decision in the end. Tom Hawkins getting separation from May, and that kick there was absolute class, just perfectly weighted to where Mitch Duncan would have wanted it.
Played well, Tom Hawkins, so far. A lot of handballs already in this game, and that kick is straight through the middle, so a couple of goals apiece here. Cats in front by just the one solitary point at the moment on the Triple M Repco scoreboard.
Yeah, that almost looked like a little bit of a set play from here. As soon as Tom Hawkins took that mark, it was the far winger for Geelong who'd reset to the square, then led up, allowing a lot of space out the back. And Duncan, he knew his head was down. He was just heading straight for the square, and Hawkins knew to put the ball straight out to space. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually something that they've worked on during the week, knowing that as soon as you can get that mark at the top of 50, Melbourne's defenders are usually caught quite high.
Yeah, it's just great connection, isn't it, really, when you see the way it unfolded there on the Harvey Norman. That person hitting up and just that big vacuum of space it created. We know that Melbourne defenders obviously going to go man-on-man in that area. So well done to the Cats.
Low numbers for the Demons. Oliver 3 averaging 35 this year. Petrarca kicked that goal, but just the 2 touches.
Interesting to see Mark O'Connor in the centre bounce now, just standing next to Petrarca for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M Rocks footy. The D's, though, win this centre clearance. Harms to Jackson to Viney. Coming off the line was Duncan, but Viney did beautifully, spun out of trouble. Got it back to Jackson, although his handball partially smothered from Henry. Broke up what would have been an excellent play out of the centre bounce. And the kick only as far as Brayshaw, who takes intercept mark. Inside the centre square. Goes wide towards Ben Brown. Lurking is Sparrow. Flicks it back up to Ben Brown. In the pocket. Goes for goal. Keeps it low. What a finish. Ben Brown doing it ground level. He's had a sharp start to this game. And the Demons get their third. They're 3 straight 18. Geelong 2-1-13. Triple M Repco scoreboard. 18 minutes gone. First turn.
Well, that's that leg rope you're talking about, Kate. You picked up on it. De Koning there wanting to just give him a little bit extra space and allowing him just to hit up at the footy. We've seen it on the outer side. But just that closer checking, no doubt the runner will make his way down there. You called it early, fantastic spot.
Yeah, and it's okay if they want De Koning to play that role, but get someone else to take Ben Brown then, because he obviously is loving having the freedom. You know how much he loves to lead up at the footy, and if De Koning's just going to sit off him and try and take the intercept mark, maybe that's not the correct matchup for them down forward.
Coach McCarthy on Triple M football. They regain the lead, the Demons, by 5 points, 18 minutes ticked over.
O'Connor has gone into the middle, and he is the one running with Petrarca at the moment.
Umpire Robert Finlay lets it rip. Stanley tries to reach. Gorn outreached him, went straight to Dangerfield. Stumbles after the ball and made good connection inside 50 as well. Comes to ground, picked up on this occasion by Isaac Smith. Almost got it to Cameron. Petty in the end has gobbled it up for the Demons deep in defence and wastes no time kicking out very, very wide. Finds the boundary. Couldn't make it work. Sparrow. And will throw it in.
Dangerfield started hot in this game. That's his 7th disposal, but in those 4 of them have been clearances.
Ball going to be thrown in. Point of the square. Attacking side for the Cats. They lead this by 5 points. Dangerfield lurking again. Guthrie wrapped up by a couple of Ds. Gorn and Viney. Ball spills out, so the umpire lets them play. Oliver goes and wins the hard ball. Good handball. Released Viney. Forward of the contest. Langdon runs shotgun just along the boundary line. Now they keep flicking around by hand. Sparrow, Harms broke the tackle. Now they keep flicking it around, and now the kick finally goes inside 50, but it was blasted and kicked blindly by the Ds. Picked off by Duncan, who wants to go short and doesn't. Finds Brian Myers.
Myers didn't let him down with a nice mark at centre half back. Graham Myers going to go out very, very wide with a high chipping sort of a ball. Not his best effort, and free kick might go to Max Gawn here. The advantage almost taken by Viney, but comes back to Gawn right on the Toyota logo. Kick out wide is to Ed Langdon, and he takes the mark here. Still on centre wing, maybe just forward of it. Plays on immediately to the corridor side, but kicks it a little bit boundary side as they compete for the ball. Jackson was in there. Nice little ball by Atkins. Got it to Smith. Smith to De Koning. De Koning goes very wide with a lovely kick to Hawkins on the half volley. Didn't pick it up. Petty trailed him all the way down from defence. In the end, put a lot of pressure on him. And there's another little opportunity in there for Spargo involved. Comes back here to May. May short kick, kicks it out of bounds on the full at half back, or half forward in fact. And a free ball for the Cats.
Yeah, Tyson Stengel, the man who ended up putting the pressure on Stephen May, had come all the way from the centre of the ground to work over. Just affected the kick there, so put that down to the pressure from Geelong again, turning the ball over.
Yeah, great pressure by the Cats, and Isaac Smith sees a bit of space on the outer side, so uses his legs, gets it to Henry, handballs to Duncan. Normally a beautiful kick, goes towards Holmes. Takes a nice mark, 55 out, wants to move it quickly. Good ball movement by the Cats. Finds Cam Guthrie 45 metres out. 45-degree angle. This will test him. It'll be right on his limit.
It certainly will be. Just the advantage of Geelong knowing this ground. Very rarely do you see a nice open play switch. Isaac Smith there, he was hard up against the boundary line when he got the ball. He ran his 5 and then delivered a big 50-metre ball across field, just shifting that entire Melbourne defence.
Cam Guthrie, just the 4 goals this season. Still looking for his options as he walks in. And now he's just going to pop it up to the goal square. Gawn's in the box seat. Couldn't take the mark. Lurking Stengel. Clayton Oliver's in there. And they flick it out to Petty. And now Brayshaw. And it's a nice kick too. Finds Harms inside the defensive 50. They don't want to go slow here, the D. So he gives the handball back to Oliver. Stengel again. Good pressure, but Oliver was good enough to get out of trouble. Although Stengel again finally causes the turnover. Clever little tap on from Hawkins. Gets to Myers. Goes for home from 45. Hits the woodwork. Again off the back of their pressure, the Cats. And they go to 2-2-14. Melbourne 3 straight 18. We've played 22 minutes. Triple M Repco scoreboard.
Hawkins in great touch, isn't he?
He's just so smart, obviously slowing down a little bit as he is getting older, but his ability just to read the game, know was just a little deft touch and knock on here and there. Brilliant stuff.
Interesting with May when he takes the kick outs that they are really manning the mark and actually pushing up the moment the umpire calls play on to make him kick wide rather than take ground up the middle with his extraordinary kicking skills. And this one was pushed wide, goes over the line out of bounds, we'll throw it in. A little bit of wind pushing towards the Geelong City end of the ground. Not a lot in it though. Gawn takes it straight out of the ruck. Beautiful handball to Oliver. All in the one motion while in the air. Gave the handball to Harms. Harms stretching Petrarca. Petrarca, beautiful little foot skills to Spargo. Inside the centre square. Turns. No one there. He was surprised. Short kick and they'll have a shot at goal through Fritsch on the lead. and he marks the ball. Man on the mark stands at 45. Fritsch will have to kick at 50, and he's very capable of that.
Very good game awareness from Spargo there. He took the mark and faced up straight away, saw that no one had taken it, so he had a bounce. That drew the defender up and made space for Fritsch to lead straight out into the middle.
They always say kick it short a couple of times to try and get the defender following, so it does clear the space behind. It rarely happens, but in Melbourne's case, been prominent. Now Fritsch, good looking ball, very, very tight, just misses by half a metre to the right. So Melbourne kick their first behind, 3-1-19. They lead the Cats 2-2-14 on the Triple M Repco scoreboard.
Just the Geelong defenders need to just continue to go all the way with Melbourne when they are going to link up with and by foot through the corridor there. It's fair enough in slow play because your midfielders will come out, but on fast transition you've got to go all the way with them. Otherwise they just bypass you when you become the +1.
From the kick in here, Melbourne have manned up the Cats pretty well. So Buse in the pocket, goes down the line and found a free player in amongst about 5 Ds. Holmes just slipped into a little pocket of space, took a mark, and wants to get it moving long down the line. Dangerfield again, resting forward. Well done, Lever. It's Hibbert, in fact, got the fist in. Knocked that ball out of bounds. Some Red Z lenders choose some of the big ball winners in this first term.
James Harms, 10 disposals, along with 3 clearances. Viney been averaging 30 over the past 6, which is a PB. He's racked up 9 and thrown 3 tackles for Geelong. Only 1 possession to Cameron and 1 to Selwood.
Ball thrown back in. Stengel just having a little run around the stoppage. Did it nicely. Attacked it. Got the handball back to Stanley, who kicks a really high ball to about 30 out. Dangerous spot. D's have got to be careful. Petty slipped and then did well to get back to his feet. Got the handball to Lever. And he sweeps a wide handball to James Jordan, who's able to run outside the defensive 50 and then kick it along the boundary line, just a little bit too far, out of bounds on the full.
Hughes kicks to O'Connor from that free kick, and O'Connor marks just forward of the wing, right in front of the Geelong bench here. O'Connor transfers play to the outer side of the ground to Koning. Short kick and finding Stanley. So patient build up here from the Cats. Stanley on the opposing wing to which it started in this transfer process. Just kicks short to the boundary line where Dangerfield is waiting, and he marks. Tries to get the 50. Plays on and beats Sparrow on the mark, and then penetrates long up. Went that occasion. Rowan couldn't hold the mark. Little flick on there from close. Knocked down to Hawkins, who's battling hard at ground level. Brayshaw comes in and upends him. Over the line, out of bounds. I think the ball goes. No, it'll be a ball up in that forward pocket for the Cats. 26 minutes ticked over here. 3 minutes remaining in the quarter.
Love that from Dangerfield. Clearly feeling good about his body. He just took off with the standing player on the mark. Now Guthrie from the pocket with an unbelievable check sides. Oh, you are kidding me. A bit like Gary Ablett Sr. from the pockets. Cam Guthrie with one of the goals of the season. And the Cats are in front. They are 3-2-20. Melbourne 3-1-19. And that came out of nowhere.
He just put the long hand into the big bag of trips. It went right down to the bottom. And said, I tell you what, he had to look inboard, so very unselfish, but there was nothing on there. Tied up in the pocket, just the inside-out check side. Got it bending perfectly. The umpire didn't move.
Well, you said he had to look inside. I just can't believe the amount of time and space that he had. He was on his own in the pocket. I think it was Holmes that gave him the handball, and then there was just no one around him, so he straightened up and was able to kick a beautiful check side that went straight through, but he was deep in the pocket there.
Triple M Harvey Norman replay there. Unbelievable goal. Bonus gift card on selected home appliances now at Harvey Norman shop in store or online.
Yep, only 3 guys got to him. He was so quick to get back to his position. He didn't want any affection at all, but it was a brilliant goal, as you say, Joey. One of the goals of the year. He has gone out of the middle. Dangerfield got a little boot to it. Advanced it to Holmes, couldn't win it. Petrarca did. His handball was smothered by Stengel, who's been impressive as well. Little kick over the top to Holmes, didn't go and get it. Had May coming straight at him. Now May has stripped to the footy and held it too long, so it'll go against May. And Melbourne play on late. They don't know what's happening. That's called professionally wasting time. And now Dangerfield looks for Hawkins in the pocket. Lever came over and just interrupted his body approach. And the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. 2:28 remaining here in the first quarter. 1 point lead with the Cats.
Sometimes the best celebration when you kick a goal like that, Daisy, is just no celebration.
I wasn't a big subscriber to that, Joey. I was letting everybody know and just straight off to the members, tongue out, fingers waving everywhere.
Gawn grabbed it out of the ruck, but then just kicked it to a dangerous part of the ground, and Zach Toohey stood under it, took a one-on-one mark against Toby Bedford, and he'll go back and have a shot 50 metres out straight in front. Good start by the Cats. Good forward pressure in this game.
The pressure's all been on the back of pretty much Gary Rowan and Stengel. They've been absolutely unbelievable. Stengel's been fantastic. He's had some impact with ball, but also his ability, first, second, third efforts, he's been the one. And on the back of that, Geelong have got the momentum, kept it up their end, getting some really good looks at it.
And we spoke about Bailey Fritsch being a beautiful exponent of the drop punt at one end for the D's. This man is a beautiful kick of the footy from 50 out straight in front. Hooks it badly. I knew that would happen, BT.
Yep.
3-3-21, the Cats. Melbourne, 3-1-19. Just under 2 minutes left in this first quarter.
It was an unusual approach to kick. It was almost like a crab going sideways. And I don't think I've seen him that... I haven't taken a lot of notice of him kicking a goal, but I don't think I've seen him go the crab before. And that was certainly a Blue Manor style opportunity here. Langdon, dispossessed by Dangerfield, gobbled up by Selwood, who kicked it inside 50. And the boy formerly of Romsey, Jake Lever, has taken a mark in defence. Unusual Mustaka. And now from defensive 50, hits the logo on the wing, off hands, over the head of Petrarca, spills to Harms, took Atkins on, got away, then took another one on in Selwood, but Selwood ran him down on the tackle. They take the advantage. Blitzarves gets it to Close. Close, a little Chesler around the corner, not great. May stands in the hole, takes an uncontested mark.
Last two kicks have been a little bit clumsy from Geelong, just going forward a little bit too quickly for them to get numbers back. They've taken 2 intercept marks in the last 30 seconds. Before that, for the quarter, they'd only had another 2.
Getting some good looks though, the Cats, turning the ball over in good position. Need to see if they can find that mark inside 50. Is the D's happy just for the time being, just to control the ball? They understand that Geelong's pressure's red hot. So happy to build it up, and now Jordan is happy to go along down the line of the wing. Pickett with a big fly. Couldn't get to it. Petrarca, haven't called his name much in the last 10 minutes, although they're queuing up in the middle here. It's Oliver and Salem. Oliver leaves it for Salem, who goes on the left boot. That's a poor kick for Christian Salem. Chopped off by Holmes. And he wants to get it moving, and that's a good kick inboard to Atkins. Has Close running past. They've still got 12 seconds on the clock here, the Cats. If Isaac Smith gives it to Duncan, he can find a mark inside 50. He pulls the kick to Stengel. Will it be paid? Umpire says no, it was too late. Could have been a free kick, could have been a mark. Umpire said no. So that'll do it for quarter time. Cats, the supporters aren't happy, but we have a cracking game of footy on. Finals-like intensity here at GMHBA Stadium. And at quarter time, it's Geelong 3-3-21, leading Melbourne 3-1-19. You got BT, Joey, Sarah Ollie, Kate McCarthy, Daisy Thomas for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
Stack quarter for Repco. Show your card and save this month at Repco. Driven by passion for 100 years.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today.
You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Foxtel, 4K Ultra HD, the best way to watch AFL. Only available on Foxtel.
Geelong over the Demons by just 2 points here at quarter time. 5 lead changes in that first quarter. Geelong 3-3-21, Melbourne 3-1-19. Ash Chua with the Red Z lenders.
Geelong leading the scores from stoppages, 2-1 to 1 behind. Dangerfield, number 1 ranked player, 11 disposals and 4 clearances.
Bob Jane teammates, Sarah Ollie.
Max Gawn getting quite involved at quarter time there for the D's. Of course, he's inflicted heartbreak the last 2 encounters with 5 goals in the prelim and that kick after the siren to get the points down here at Cardinia Park. So far,
Just lost there for a minute, so we'll continue on. And Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Daisy and Kate, what are your thoughts on the first quarter, guys?
Well, a really good first quarter. It lived up to expectation, which is fantastic to see. Both teams having their patches of dominance. Love the fact that the Cats' clear game plan to not give the footy up. We know they've been so good at that this year, but going forward, they don't want to blast away. We know how good Melbourne's defence can be, as you touched on there, Kate. Only the 2 intercept marks for the better part of most of that first quarter. They gave a couple up late. And, well, for the D's, they were pretty fantastic at times as well.
Yeah, early in the quarter, the D's definitely had the field position. We were saying at one point it was, I think, about 67% time in forward half for the D's. But then the last part of that quarter, Geelong had 8 of the last 9 inside 50s for that quarter. So you could really see them start to play the game the way that they wanted to, which included slowing the ball down as they were moving into their forward half, a whole lot of forward half pressure, but then also switching play at any opportunity that they could.
Thanks, guys. Your thoughts there. And here at quarter time, I just get the feeling, Joey, we are, and I think you made the comment at quarter time in the ad break there, that this feels like it's going to be tight all night, doesn't it?
It does. The way this game's being played, 2 teams, they're both on, they're both up and about, their pressure's good. It feels like it will be an arm wrestle from start to finish. You already said the 5 lead changes in this one, BT. I can't see either side breaking this game open, Daisy, the way that first quarter was played.
And just all on the back of pressure. Every ball is contested. There's no easy pill out there. It's fantastic to see.
We're getting ready for a big second quarter here. Cats lead by 2 points. Atkins, Guthrie and Blitzarfs in the middle for the Cats. For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy. Viney, Oliver, Petrarca for the D's, but it's the Cats through Atkins who wins the first clearance, but a good mark taken by Bowie. Playing on close off half back and quickly goes to Jackson, who spread on Reece Stanley wide in front of the change gates. Luke Jackson back in the side tonight with Max Gawn. Joel Selwood and Sam DeConing back for the Cats. So Jackson's going to go to centre half forward. Ben Brown and Gawn's in that contest. Huge fist from Sam DeConing. Almost back to where the kick came from, and it's going to work for Close, who's got a bit of space, but again, great pressure from the Demons. That time it was Jake Bowie, just did enough to affect the kick, and it was mopped up by Brayshaw, who gave the handball to Petty. High ball towards the wing. Holmes had good impact in that first quarter, but the ball goes out of bounds. Centre wing, broadcast side.
Well, Max Gawn has found his way into the forward line, so we know he's been out for a couple of weeks now. He and Ben Brown playing the deepest in this quarter for the D's.
Daisy Thomas on Triple M football. Boundary throw in here, centre wing. Stanley and Jackson in the meantime doing the ruck work. Stanley won it hands down in advance of the ball by foot very, very high towards the 50. Petty messed everything. Brayshaw was there to mop it up. Bowie's handball ricocheted off Holmes and goes over the line out of bounds. Half forward here for the Cats. Kicking to that Barwon River end of the ground, or the players stand in, which is absolutely jam-packed here tonight.
Good atmosphere, perfect conditions for football. Not a breath of wind, no rain, and Blitzarves just whacks that ball 5 metres forward, gets it to about the 50-metre line for the Cats.
Petrarca also sitting forward. It was O'Connor that was taking him. He's going up into the stoppage. O'Connor did follow him, but now he's handed over, so they'll have a +1 in the stoppage, and Mitch Duncan is sitting spare behind the stoppage.
I think O'Connor's just waiting for Petrarca if he drifts forward as Viney sharks that clearance, gets good purchase. Geelong have got the extra defender. They couldn't capitalise on it on that occasion, although Gawn's handball was too sharp for Pickett, and then Henry's handball was too sharp for Atkins. Blitzarves has to go low. Oliver's clean. Handballs to Jordan. Gets the 1-2 from Harms. This is on the wing. Gawn did nicely. Screws it around the body. There's Petrarca drifting forward. Couldn't take the mark. Well done, Stanley. Gets the fist in again. Ball went back and forth, but in the end didn't go anywhere. And it'll be thrown back in on centre wing. Underneath us here on the broadcast side. Full house jam, HBA Stadium, 1v2. And it's Geelong leading by 2 points.
Yep, we'll throw it in here. Jackson doing the ruck work. Stanley as well. Petrarca. Blitzarves wearing him like a glove. Rushed handball went to Atkins and out very wide, and Stengel sees it over the line. As we look at the construction end, and I see over there quite a few guys. There's a union sign, of course, and a few guys getting triple time tonight over there. And
I was going to say, you reckon they're getting paid to stand there and watch the footy?
Just standing with hands in pockets. They look like the big knobs have come in and said this is an easy way to watch a game that's packed out and sold out. We'll use our building site. There's Harms to get under Holmes, and he did, and as a result got caught high by Holmes. And Harms, how's he gone tonight, Ash?
Leading ballman on the ground, BT, 13 disposals.
Red Z lending stats. Harms with a sloppy little kick straight down the throat of Joel Selwood.
He just came off the bench, Selwood. He said, thank you very much. And that was a beautiful kick into the corridor. Opens it up for the Cats. Smith gave it to Duncan, went for a low ball. Missed Hawkins, although, geez, it was a good pick up at his shoelaces. Got it to Blitzarves. His handball too sharp for Cameron. Guthrie, that's Zach Guthrie. His brother's already kicked a special goal. He tries to match him. Sold the candy twice. Couldn't quite finish. Through for behind. First score of the second term. Geelong 3-4-22, Melbourne 3-1-19. That's on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. 4K Ultra HD. The best way to watch AFL. Only available on Foxtel.
How's the hands from the big tomahawk there? Hitting it at full pace. Bent down, picked it up off his shoelaces with one grab. That's elite.
He's done everything except actually kick the footy tonight. He's handballing and tapping it on and doing all sorts of body work to help others. Really selfless game. He's an absolute delight to watch. Love watching him. He's, as Daisy mentioned before, just so smart. So smart. He's 1 or 2 steps ahead of everyone else. Boundary throw in here, half forward for the Cats. Gawn wrestling for the front and saved it, and the high tackle there on Oliver will mean that he'll get the free here, and a little bit of a scrap on as well, wasted a good couple of seconds. I think it's Guthrie under that, and it's wasted 10 seconds now. Cam Guthrie, excellent waste of time.
Wasn't this the rule that at the start of the year, though, that was going to be paid as 50 if there was any time wasting?
But whose fault is it? That's the thing the umpire's got to work out.
Kick goes long down the line. A lot of numbers around this footy. Melbourne win it, but again, the pressure from the Cats. That time it was close with the chase from behind, and they turned the ball over again. Jeremy Cameron, he had 3 Cats, but he picked out Hibbard. And now the D's turn it over, and they want to go quick. Neil Bullen has Spargo, and he has Ben Brown in the pocket, who got forward, and he takes the mark. 40 metres out, just inside the boundary line. Wrong side for a right footer. But he does have that little bit of left to right, and he's not going to get his 60-metre run-up because he's up against the fence.
Well, if he got the 60-metre run-up, he'd be next to the Union bloke there with his hands in his pocket. The umpire not allowing that. Jeremy Cameron injecting himself into this game, getting high, trying to bring himself into it. A pretty quiet first quarter from his standards.
Already kicked one in the first term, did Ben Brown. That was in general play. From 45 out. He gets that little bit of shape. It's going to go very close. It got right to the goal line. Gawn worked Reece Stanley off the foot. He kicks the goal, but the Cats want to say it hit the post. Let's have a listen.
Score review. Umpire's call is one behind. Hit the post. Please confirm.
So you heard the goal umpire. He's called that it didn't hit the post.
So if it didn't hit the post, is it play on and the goal counts from Gawn after the post incident, or what happens?
It's a good point. They let the play go, but I think the ball did deflect off the post.
Yeah.
Gawn basically dropped the mark. He could have taken that mark right against the post. He dropped it. It deflected off the post. Then he snapped the goal, so it will be a behind. Going the way of Melbourne, but that is a good point, BT.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the rule is. I presume the goal would have to stand.
If the whistle hadn't have been blown, you'd imagine that it's still live play, so it would have stand. Reece Stanley, though, sorely some nightmares for him after what happened last year in that certain area as well.
Geelong back into play. With a let off for them. Here's Gawn taking a mark on the wing. Umpire said it was in the contest and touched by lots of hands, so nothing forthcoming. Justin Power, the umpire. Ball up. Gawn out the back door beautifully to Sparrow. Sidestep one. Now the kick to Jackson. Got the body position, but he was well held by Henry, and Keziah Pickett tackled by Zach Guthrie as he went to get possession. Takes it over the line and out of bounds. The Cats by 2 points here on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Just quietly, Kate, Daisy's got some contacts here. We wanted some water, and Dale Thomas has got someone to deliver us an esky full of waters with his contact at GMHBA.
Yeah, well, his contact was surprised that Daisy asked for waters because he doesn't usually just ask for waters.
I wouldn't have thought it's too much to ask for.
From the stoppage at half-back, got into the middle of the ground. Gary Rowan had a good start, wins the ball, goes towards goal, went off the side of the boot.
I mean, we're talking about water.
Into the pocket.
I had to refill my bottle in the dunny. Not bad they're going at the Cats.
We couldn't get any water. Daisy made one phone call and we've got a whole esky up here, BT. I thought that was pretty impressive.
No, it is impressive. He's got contacts, Dave.
Wait till you see what he's got lined up for us post-match.
I know. Ball thrown in, 30 out from the Cats' goal. Clayton Oliver, after a slow start, as Chutold is starting to get busy now. Wins the clearance. Goes towards half-back. Henry picks it off. Zach Guthrie, 55 out. Can he find a mark inside 50? Just pokes it to nowhere in particular. Selwood coming through. Well done, Jake Lever. The boy from Romsey, BT.
Yep.
Got the handball to Sparrow, and then the kick finds Bedford.
Formerly of Romsey, now in a suburban, leafy suburb.
Has he changed?
Yeah, very happy with himself these days. There's Bowie, I think it was. Out wide, might have been Bedford, in fact. It was, went over the top of the pack. Little handball by Mitch Duncan, released to Dangerfield to O'Connor. He got dragged down to the tackle by Neil Bullen. It's got to be a free, it is. So Neil Bullen, right on the edge of the square on the centre wing, immediately kicked it forward, looking out wide for Fritsch, who had the good set on Henry. Beats him to the crumb over the back as well, Fritsch. Now a centering high ball inside 50 without great direction. And De Koning, who's becoming a real class act back there.
He certainly is, but that is an absolute horrible entry from Fritsch. He had Petrarca on in the pocket, burnt him, he had another short. He went to the 1-on-3, an easy mark for De Koning, but the kick, that was absolutely horrible.
Both teams are struggling with their inside 50 entries at the moment, Chu. We'll just get the efficiency inside 50 because it seems they're just missing kicks, both sides, feeling the pressure.
Yeah, look at the forward half of the ground. Geelong going at 46% by foot, Melbourne only at 54%.
So the Cats from half-back will just transition the play. Oh, Henry's kick just found Isaac Smith, who had to take it at full stretch. True centre half-back. Geelong lead this one by 2 points. They're 3-4, Melbourne 3-2. No goals yet in this second term. We've played nearly 10 minutes. Duncan had to clean up the mess. Myers, that's another poor kick. Salem went to ground. Guthrie attacked it. Spargo waited for it. This time Spargo goes hard. Might get the free kick. No, the umpire's going to let them play. And we'll get a ball up. Just forward of the wing. Toyota logo. Broadcast side. GMHBA Stadium. Sarah Ollie, Bob Jane T. Martz.
Jed Hughes, every time he comes off his back onto that bike, that left quad is giving him a few issues, and it's been heavily strapped since quarter time.
Bob Jane T. Martz, look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au.
Nothing going on here. Spargo eventually fumbled the handball out. It was an illegal handball, and therefore Myers will get the free here, right in front of the interchange gates. Myers. 5 or 6 metres inside the boundary line. Geelong queuing up at the back end of half-back, and De Koning accepts the mark. He plays on. A little undecided. He didn't want to go across to the other side, and he's forced to now, and finds an opportunity here with O'Connor. O'Connor goes deep inside 50. Big launch there from Rowan. Went way too early. Now at the back end, Lever had a little bit of a fumble. Handball by Blitzarves. Running attack by Dangerfield. And he's missed. He got almost to the goal square and missed across the face, and a minor score 3-5 to 3-2 in favour of the Cats.
Real arm wrestle, all right, isn't it, this game?
And they're the opportunities. That was an almost walking goal for Danger. One he kicked 9 times out of 10. Some really good hands, though, involved in again was Gary Rowan.
There was the young bull and old bull again. It was Selwood and Petrarca. Selwood one out. Now Jeremy Cameron again goes inside 50. And again a poor kick. And they were queuing up the Ds. And it was Lever who took the mark, and now it's with Langdon who goes short to Bedford.
Well, they obviously know that Jeremy Cameron's been doing a lot of that, getting high up the ground. Every time we've seen it so far tonight, he's relying, the Melbourne defenders are staying back, allowing him to go up, and the pressure coming from the mids, so that when he does get it, he just kicks it straight back to them.
D's chained it out through hands, out of sight at GMHBA now. Viney steps back inboard on his left, and then he has a poor kick inside 50. So both defences controlling the game at the moment. And it was O'Connor who has Selwood wide with a bit of time and space.
Yeah, Selwood goes inside directly and finds the corridor with Cameron, and he works onto his left beautifully into the middle to Myers. Myers back here to Cameron. Cameron at centre half forward, didn't kick it well again. Punched away here by May. Second time he's gone inside 50 without authority. Now it's picked up here by Stengel, gave it to Duncan. Duncan goes into the pocket. Opportunity here for Hawkins. This way, that way. Got the handball back, or the kick back, and Atkins has taken the mark within about 40 metres on a 45-degree angle.
So that time there, Jeremy Cameron, the difference, he was able to break a line. He got a handball received rather than just getting it from a standing start. But Tom Hawkins, he probably could have earned himself a free kick having a look at the Harvey Norman, but worked out fortuitously, got a little bit of body, but he was still strong enough to remain standing and then got the ball inside.
Tom Atkins, his dad owned the fish and chip shop, I think, in Bowen Heads, and
he was tough, wasn't he?
Was a former Herald Sun sporting journo, footy journo, and he was tough, good player. Atkins now nails the goal, no problem. So the Cats finally get a little bit of a reward here. 4-5-29, leading the Demons 3-2-20 on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard. Ash.
Yeah, Tom Atkins beats. He's 8 disposals, 3 clearances and a major tonight, but past 5 matches, playing 87% game time in the midfield. Second-rated player at Geelong, racking up 19 and averaging 8 tackles per game.
It's the first time of the night we've seen a little bit of broken play, sort of end-to-end, some free-flowing ball movement in one side, out the other, all on the back of poor inside 50 entry kicks, really. But the defence is set up really soundly behind it. On that occasion, it was Jeremy Cameron. He was the one, Kate, as you said, his ability to link the play. So the first 2 times we've seen him, he's gone for the all-or-nothing kick, bypassing that middle line, and the Melbourne defenders have just been sitting back as wicket-keepers waiting for him. He connected the dots there, connected the field, and was good enough then to get a deeper inside 50, bypassing the spares of Melbourne, who'd let him wander up the ground.
First goal of the second term. It took 13 minutes, and it went the way of the Cats. For McDonald's and Ream, hot water. Triple M Rocks footy. Gawn tried to find Viney, but Guthrie was stronger. Won the contest, dribbles the ball towards half forward. Well done, Lever. Great contest win. And then sweeps the handball to Clayton Oliver, who didn't like what he saw forward, so he waited for Langdon, who then pulls the kick to Cozzy Pickett, who's a good one too. Took a nice mark. Just forward of the wing. Backs off and takes his time now. Geelong lead this by 9 points. Well, in the end, he wasn't sure what to do, Cozzy Pickett, so that was a horrible kick, and it's been turned over. And this is where the Cats like to make you pay. Myers to Atkins, the goal kicker. Although his kick's poor as well. Straight back to Jake Lever. His kick's even worse. Straight to Buse. And now Hawkins, who's been involved in everything. That handball, though, missed Guthrie. Melbourne have got the numbers. It's Brayshaw. And now an opportunity for the D's on the counter-attack. He has Ben Brown again. De Koning drops off him by a long way. Takes the mark, point of the square. And then switches the play to the other side of the ground because he sees Oliver drifting forward. And he takes the mark inside 50.
Well, intelligent play, as you said, Joey. De Koning was the one who dropped up, so he just let Ben Brown hit up. Ben Brown obviously doing their homework as of Melbourne in this game. Spargo, we've seen earlier, as soon as they're taking the mark forward of centre, facing the game, and if there's no one on the mark taking the ground, they're being allowed by the Geelong defence. Ben Brown, good game awareness there. De Koning was down the line, his direct opponent. The space was obviously to the open side, good enough to execute the skill.
Well, for as great as this bloke is, this is the one part he can add to his game. Clayton Oliver, 2 goals, 7 for the year. From 50 out on a slide angle. Strikes it beautifully. Contact. And he's got the reply that these were after. They get their first goal of the term. They go to 4-2-26. Geelong 4-5-29. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard 4K Ultra HD. The best way to watch the AFL. Only available on Foxtel.
Is that the reverse, Moz? You put
it
on Zach Tui before and then told us that Clayton Oliver couldn't strike and he's dobbed at 55.
Yep, the reverse Moz.
Well, there's a bit of a comedy of errors leading up to that one. Not characteristic play you see from either team. A number of kicks that were just pretty much downright shanks, just going back and forth between the two. And the play really opened up, and it was, as you said, Joey, an extremely smart kick from Ben Brown going across the face. But just behind play, it was an interesting altercation between Zach Guthrie and Jack Viney as that ball played out. A little bit of contact, which was accidental between the two, but Guthrie kind of grabbed at Viney's face, and Viney was down for a little bit. The doctor went out to have a chat to him, but he has stayed on.
Back in the middle, Atkins is tackled to the ground by Gawn. Selwood came in, won a hard ball, and then an awkward-looking kick forward, and Lever was brave, but without success, moderate success in that it went to the ground. Now it comes to Langdon from Viney, and short ball finds Harms. Harms plays on with a handball to Salem, gliding down the wing. Neat little ball here to Neil Bullen. He plays on with a handball to Petrarca. Petrarca runs to 52, caught it off the inside of the boot, didn't kick it as well as he would have liked, and goes over the line and out of bounds. Skunked the ball a little, I reckon. Geelong Bay 3.
He's prone to doing that, Petrarca, going inside 50 at times.
Just didn't want to lower the eyes. He had options coming at him. The blinkers went on and he had a big ping.
Just blasted away. And now ground level Atkins wins the clearance for the Cats, clears the defensive 50. The two little boys, Stengel and Bowie, go at it. Stengel won the contest along the boundary, low flat ball. It's a good one.
Beautiful.
Finds Gary Rowan. Hucked the boundary line.
Had no room to work with, Joey.
And Rowan, who the guys have said has been up and about in this contest, sends it towards Cameron, who floats in front, took the mark, wheels and goes. He sees an open forward line, has Zach Tui drifting inside 50. That should be front on contact. The umpire said no, and then Holmes is taken down in a tackle by a couple of Ds. Ben Brown it was who got all the way down the defensive end of the ground, got the fist in. From up here it looked like front on contact. Umpire said no. He'll have it thrown up, 30 out from the Cats' goal.
Yep, ball up. Stanley, someone falls over and hold. It'll go the way of Jackson at full back line. Got it off to Angus Brayshaw, who goes wide and finds Jordan. Jordan, a short little ball which covered 6.5 metres, and the umpire had the temerity to blow his whistle and said it was a mark because he could see that Melbourne were bottled up. Just blow play on, mate. It'll make it a lot more interesting. Kick goes forward, over the back, reaching was Fritz. Jackson got it out of there. Neil Bullen took him on. Stengel dragged him to the ground. Umpire's right there. Stengel wins the free. He wants to go quickly. The three big forwards are there. Hawkins, Cameron, Rowan, Isaac Smith is there. Duncan as well. He takes a long time. Now unloads. Blitzers! Double juggler, couldn't hold it. Myers soccer off the ground. Went straight to close. Went 6.5 metres, but he claimed the mark. And we'll have a ball up in Melbourne's defence here. Under real pressure.
Tom Hawkins will do the ruck work against Gawn. They like to get on the move here. It's going to be a free kick paid. It's going to go against Hawkins. Oh, Cats fans. They're starting to get feral. Nobody's sure why. And then a 50 metres being paid because the ball didn't get thrown back to Gawn properly. Talk us through it, Daisy. Triple M, Harvey Norman replay.
Well, if anything, it looks like Max Gawn was the one that threw Tom Hawkins to the ground. Tom Hawkins can't believe it. He looks like he's just dropped one of his favourite Tim Tams. Absolutely befuddled there he was. But free kick and 50.
D's get the 50 metres and then quickly move the ball inside there. Forward 50. Fritsch is lurking. Good pressure from Buse right on his hammer. Bedford, but he's got Tui on his hammer. They ain't giving an inch, these Cats. They're giving nothing. And we'll have it balled up inside 50 for Melbourne.
An interesting decision, considering it was almost the identical one that we saw against Reece Stanley only moments before.
3-point lead. Melbourne have finally got it in their forward end. Ash inside 50s this quarter. O'Connor, what do we got, Ash?
Yeah, inside 50s. It's 8-7 Geelong's way, but time in the front half. Geelong at 60%, Melbourne only at 40.
Langdon marks 56 metres out here, close to the boundary. taking a while to get it on and goes wide looking for something, but Holmes is just going to jump into the spot and intercept this mark. And he's been paid the mark deep in the back pocket here for the Cats.
He's found himself in some really good positions tonight, Holmes. He's just floated back when he needs to and then worked forward and just been that real connection between midfield and forward.
5.5 minutes left in this first half. Tui assesses his options, wants to go down the middle. Great kick, finds Reece Stanley. Point of the square, half back for the Cats. They lead by 3 points. They led by 2 points at quarter time. Again, they transition the ball wide to the open side. Again, it's Holmes having a really nice game. And that's a good kick too to Cam Guthrie, who quickly gives the handball to Duncan, to Selwood, to Smith, to Myers. This will be an amazing team goal. One more handball to Close. He'll step in and finish it. Coast to coast footy from the Cats. A chain of hands. Got through about 8 of them. And it's Close with the finish. And Geelong extend their lead. They go to 5-5-35. Melbourne 4-2-26. Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Well, it was beautiful ball movement, and that's one way to bypass the intercept defenders from Melbourne. They can't take an intercept mark if you don't kick it, so the overlap handball was just elite. It was one player to the other, all the way out, and then they found it was Stengel through the middle. A lovely square-up kick, and then just chains of hands all the way through 50.
There was the ability once they got the switch and got it to the open side not to continue going there. We know at this skinny ground you can run out of room, so an extra kick wide buys time for the defence to shuffle around, and they can do it quite easily. So that ball and choosing to go straight up the guts and keeping the speed in the ball once it got there, well done, really unselfish play. Well done to Grime Myers, who gave the extra handball as well.
Cats by 9 points, 2 goals to 1 in the quarter. Stanley in the middle. Gawn was lying on the ground while getting the handball to Oliver. Oliver beautiful to Viney. Viney got it to Petrarca. Petrarca sets it again from 52 out. This time it's on target. Beautifully struck. And Petrarca kicks his second big goal from 50 on the run. And they respond, the Demons, straight away. 5-5-35. Geelong, Melbourne 5-2-32 on the Triple M Foxtel scoreboard.
Well, he had the cider earlier on in this term, and a similar thing. He had a couple of options coming at him. We often say as a midfielder, all you want is someone popping up into that vision of yours, 15, 20 metres away. You can lower the eyes and connect the field. But Christian Petrarca, sensing the occasion, sensing the moment, backed himself in, and as soon as he hit it, he was off. Harvey Norman replay, that finger went up, and he was off to the outside wing. Pretty happy with his work.
Bonus gift card on selected home appliances now at Harvey Norman's shop in store online. Shoot.
And that man Clayton Oliver, number 1 ranked player on the ground, 15 disposals, 1 major. He's averaging 35 this year.
After a really slow start, Clayton Oliver's got going for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy there is Oliver up against Dangerfield, the 2 big bulls, and it's Dangerfield who'll win out, although his mate Petrarca lays the strong tackle. So it's a loose ball, half forward for the Cats. Cameron dispossessed, Close, gets it back to Dangerfield. Can he reply? On the left boot from 45, shanks it. Just sneaks through for behinds. Couple of misses this quarter for the champ. And Geelong are 5-6-36, Melbourne 5-2-32. Just over 4 minutes left in the half.
Made a kick in from fullback again. Rowan straight after him the moment he plays on. In fact, Hawkins comes at him this time. High footy, Stanley and Jackson, Gawn and De Koning, all the big boys are there. Melbourne have a little win here. Goes back to Jordan with a handball. Salem went to handball it, and it's been ruled out of bounds on the full. Myers didn't like it, reckon it was above the knee. Salem reckons it was below the knee. In the end, it's just a little free kick, doesn't matter. Salem with the free ball at half-back, looking to kick it down the interchange side of the ground. Very high ball. Stanley with the big thump away. Knocked down here to Viney. Viney's kick picked up, played Blitzarves, gave it to Stanley. Stanley banged it on the boot, went very, very wide, and will be out of bounds on the full at half-back for the Demons.
Move outside 5. You coming in or not?
3:50 left on the clock.
Where you are, no closer.
Anything else for us, Stu? Red Z lending stats?
Yeah, Patrick Dangerfield getting busy, 15 touches, but those centre clearances, 9-3 Geelong's way, but they've only kicked 2 behinds from that score source. Melbourne 1 major, Petrarca's.
Very good shoot. De Koning with a big fly from the back over Gawn. Couldn't play the mark. Ball up, centre wing. Geelong lead this by 4 points. Been a real good tussle. Real arm wrestle from the 2 top sides in the competition. Blitzarves doing the ruck work with Gawn, going nowhere.
Lots of numbers around this stoppage. Both teams sending a forward up into it. So you've got the 3 midfielders, the 2 wingers, plus a forward from each side. Plenty of numbers.
Triple M C-Bus super special comments tonight. Dale Thomas, Kate McCarthy as Oliver gets a little toe poke to it, but it falls as far as Dangerfield. Of a standing start, goes towards centre forward. Jeremy Cameron, another big fly. Couldn't take the mark. Melbourne with numbers at ground level. Neil Bullen slipped, put himself under pressure. Well done, Petty. Tidied up his mess, and then Neil Bullen went back and got it again. Handball to Brayshaw, sweeps one wide to Jordan, but only as far as Dangerfield. Sarah Rowley in front of you, Bob Jane teammates.
Reece Stanley just having a little chat to the doctor, just stretching out his legs and pointing at his left knees, just sucking back some juice, but surely it couldn't be cramp at this stage of the match.
No, probably unlikely. 4-point lead here for the Cats as Dangerfield goes down the line, and a fly there, and it'll go to Oliver the free against Myers. Plays on Oliver from half back, and high footy. Henry wanted the free, but Brown took a lovely mark. Look at Petrarca, kick it over the head, although coming now is Zach Guthrie coming at them. Managed to affect the spoil, but gave away a free in doing so. So it'll be a free ball to Fritsch. Man on the marks at 48. Fritsch almost went with a handball.
Keep clear, Tom.
Now goes back for the kick here. So a lead of 4 points, Geelong. Fritsch with a long shot at goal
15.
to the city, or the new construction end of this ground. Bailey Fritsch kicked the first goal of the game. Didn't try and go for it then. Popped it into a dangerous spot, and it was knocked away by Henry for a behind. 37 plays 33.
Really smart work from Patrick Dangerfield there. He came down, he saw that Ben Brown had the match up on De Koning, and Ben Brown was happy to take De Koning out of the square, so he quickly came down so that De Koning could sit in the square and hopefully affect that ball that went in and sat at the top there.
Selwood's got the football. Junction of the 50 in the boundary line. Half back for the Cats. Outer side, wants to poke it short. That's not his best kick, Selwood. That's a poor kick out of bounds on the full.
You know what I've noticed tonight, Days and Joey, come back to you in a moment.
Oliver, who took the free kick from the out of bounds on the full, drives it to the top of the square. Big fist through for another behind. 34-36. Geelong lead by 2 points.
Have a look at the crowd. All got dark coats. Winter is a very dark thing. People wear dark clothing, blue coat, black coat, grey coat. They're mostly dark coloured coats here in winter days.
Yes, man.
Not a lot of colour.
A lot of them Geelong supporters as well, so a lot of navy blue in that as well as the predominant colour in their coating.
Probably didn't take that into my thinking, but probably should have, given it's Geelong's home game. Here's Hawkins on the rebound. Was tackled immediately by Lever, dragged to ground, no prior. And the umpire agrees, Robert Finlay.
Just if you do have a look,
see the section over there, the Melbourne section. See
the red coats.
See the red people over there.
Yeah, but no, I just want you to take on board in the corporate section. Very dark coats. A lot of darkish clothing being worn in the winter. It's a winter thing, Days. I mean, look at yourself. You've got a dark shirt on.
Slimming.
Look at Kate. She's got a dark shirt on. Have a look at yourself, Joey. Dark shirt on. Have a look at me. Dark shirt. 4 darkies here in the shirt department. Comes to Isaac Smith. 55 metres out. Looking ball offline and a minor score. So 37 plays 34.
Just under a minute left in this first half. 2 goals apiece. Petrarca's got 2. The only multiple goal scorer. So again, they close the mark, BT. You're onto that with Stephen May. Instead of kicking at 80 metres, it just gets to about 70. Geelong have got the numbers there. Zach Guthrie is going to be taken down by a couple of Ds. 40 seconds left. Still an opportunity here for both sides. Ball's going to be thrown up. Half forward for the Cats. Hawkins having a stint in the ruck. Petrarca was sharp. Handball to Viney, but the tackle pressure from Geelong's been relentless this first half. They turned the ball over. It was closest tackle. Got to Selwood, who lowers the eyes, and it was about a 6.5 metre kick, BT. Found Dangerfield, and the mark's been paid.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So Dangerfield has already had a couple of good looks at it in this second term.
Isaac!
He's probably going to kick this after the siren. He loves this moment, Danger. He loves it, Daisy, when all eyes are on him.
Oh, yeah.
He's had a big first half, Stu. Paddy Dangerfield.
He certainly has 17 touches, Joey, along with 4 clearances.
He's definitely milking it.
He wanted to wait for the siren. He wanted the time.
Now you got to deliver.
From 50, just inside the boundary line. Let the crowd tell the story. Not much on that. Just snuck in for a behind. But nonetheless, there was an arm wrestle of a first half. of course, Geelong, they lead by 4 points there, 5-8-38. Melbourne 5-4-32, of course, for Ream Hot Water, built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream. We'll have Daisy and Kate McCarthy to sum up the first half for us after this. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Foxtel, 4K Ultra HD, the best way to watch AFL. Only available on Foxtel.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly.
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
Yes, for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. At halftime at GMHBA Stadium, it is Geelong 5-8-38 leading Melbourne 5-4-34. Sarah Ollie here with Kate McCarthy, Daisy Thomas, and of course Ash Chua. Days, 2 weeks ago, we were given the 1v2 billing. It did not live up to the expectations. This is living up and then some.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. High pressure, high energy, just a cracking game of footy. There has been some passages of brilliant play, some real individual moments of brilliance as well. But also, the thing that I'm enjoying most is just the contest after contest and the efforts that are stacking up. And that's when you think of finals footy, and we're going to get a taste of that for hopefully the rest of this game. But looking forward to in the next 6 weeks when you do get there, that's what can turn games. It's who can just continue to compete, because there's no easy balls out there. It's been fantastic so far tonight, and we're loving what we're seeing. It's living up to the hype. The pressure has been enormous. At times, as we said, it hasn't been the prettiest game of footy, but the teams who are making the most of their opportunities, and they are getting some looks going inside 50, it's been brilliant to watch. And just some of the tactical battles as well. Both teams happy just to give up that hit up throughout the ground. We obviously know that Jeremy Cameron, for the Cats, he loves to get up and inject himself through it. So May and Lever have just said, no worries, off you go. We're going to rely on our midfield and our pressure on the footy to be high enough that you're going to be under some serious pressure. So when you release it, in essence, you're just going to kick it back to us. We've seen it at the other end with De Koning on Ben Brown, and at times he's probably got it wrong. We've seen May and Lever have more impact than we have De Koning tonight. But it's a fascinating game, a ripping half of footy, and I can't wait for the second half.
Kate, I've been sitting down there amongst the Geelong faithful, almost feeling like a Geelong supporter, because there aren't many Melbourne fans out there. You get the feeling that they sense that perhaps they should be further up. How are you seeing it up here?
Yeah, there have been a couple of missed opportunities from Geelong. One from Patrick Dangerfield in that quarter that usually he would absolutely smother and butter up and get 6 points for, but he missed from pretty much directly in front. I didn't actually even watch where the ball went. I just watched Danger to see how his celebration would go. Yeah. When nothing happened, I realised that he'd missed. But also Tyson Stengel early in the first quarter had a running shot at goal, which he'd usually make, especially with the form that he's in this year. So you can just sense that there's a lot of pressure around the ground, and I think the Cats supporters, they'd obviously, with last year round 23, we all remember what happened there. Big Maxi taking the mark and kicking the goal after the siren. So they know how important this matchup is, and I think they're really keen to get one back on the Melbourne Demons.
And of course, in that match, they were 40 or so points up at halftime. Ash Chua, the Melbourne midfield. Petrarca, Oliver, Gawn, what's their impact been like?
The D3 they're calling them, aren't they? Is that right? Yeah, Oliver, well, no surprises. He's at his standard. He's racked up 18 touches, kicked a major, thrown 4 clearances, along with Viney. He's picked up 18, past 6 matches, racking up 30. Petrarca a little bit down in disposals, but he's had 10, but he's kicked 2 majors, of course, 1 out of the middle in that second quarter.
Yeah, that was a beautiful goal and really rubbed salt into the wounds, because Danger couldn't do the same at the other end. And Daisy, what we know is these small chances, they can decide the match.
They certainly can. In these games where it is only 4 or 5 points the difference throughout, it's who's going to make the most of the opportunities. And the Petrarca one, he could have lowered his eyes, but he took responsibility. He missed a shot probably 4 or 5 minutes earlier as well. So there are plenty of opportunities out there, and at times they are taking them. But it's just, as we spoke about, a ripping game of footy. It's hard, it's contested, it's everything you want to see. As a supporter and someone here tonight, I'm sure it's not the high, free-flowing game that we've seen both sides produce at times, especially for Geelong supporters last week when they just took the absolute demolition job to North Melbourne. But it's what you want, and if your team is going to go and win deep into September, these are the games and these are the styles that you have to find a way to win in.
This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools, 1 battery corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. Now, Katie, you mentioned Tyson Stengel there, a few missed opportunities. But let's show some love for the small forward, especially seeing as you're one of the best in the business in the AFLW. Do you reckon he's the All-Australian small forward this year? Can you mount a case for him?
Yeah, 100%. I think his efficiency in front of goal, but I think the most important thing as a small forward is the pressure that you can apply, and we've seen multiple examples of it here tonight. Even just the fact there's a couple of times he sat off the back of a stoppage in that sweater roll, or the high half forward that really wants to take that handball received out of the opponent's game, and he's laid a number of extremely good tackles. And even when he hasn't been able to maybe lay the tackle, he's applied a lot of pressure at the source. So he's made it hard for Melbourne Demons to exit out of their defensive 50. But yeah, I know that there's a lot of good small forwards going around in obviously this league at the moment, but I think he's got to be in All-Australian contention for sure. What do you think, Daze?
Yeah, most definitely. He's got to certainly be in the conversation, if not at the minute holding down the spot.
He's what they've needed, Geelong.
It's been brilliant, and to get him for nothing, we all know the well-publicised story too. So for him to turn not only his footballing career, but his life around as well, and having some real impact, and then you never know where this could take him. You know, we sit tonight and what we think these two sides will be doing later in the year. It's a great opportunity.
And I think we noted in the game how Gary Rowan's now throwing his body around and really applying a lot of pressure. I think the addition of Tyson Stengel allows him to do that. Before, sort of last year, he was the mid-sized forward that didn't really have a whole lot of support down there. He had to play the small role. He had to play the hybrid role where he could crash packs. But now he's really just allowed to play pretty much that third tall. He's allowed to move up the ground. He's also allowed to sit deep and call for it on his head because he knows that Tyson Stengel, he'll be at the feet no matter what.
And up the other end is probably Keziah Pickett, who you're looking to do similar things for the D's. We all know the X factor and class. At the moment, if you're going head-to-head, it's been Stengel who's had more impact in his forward half of the ground. So for the D's fans, if you can inject and find a way to get the ball in and around Keziah Pickett's hands, there has been plenty of scraps down there. He just hasn't found himself in the right spots or at the feet of the big men. And no doubt, as this game goes on, he's someone who can have a big say in it.
Coming into this match, Simon Goodwin said that there'd be mouth-watering matchups all over the ground. Kate, which one's taken your fancy? I know that the one with Stephen May and Tom Hawkins, that's been spoken about a bit. Who's getting the chocolates there?
I think definitely Tom Hawkins. I think he's just played a smarter game. I think he's been able to really negate Stephen May's influence, but that's with the help of his teammates as well. So they're not blazing away and blasting the ball inside 50 where Stephen May's usually sitting to take an intercept mark. They're waiting a little bit. They're giving Tomahawk the opportunity to lead up at the footy, and then they're hitting it to him. So I'd say he's probably had the chocolates in that one. I think the interesting thing is what they're doing with Petrarca. They're obviously sitting him at forward for most of the game, but he's playing as a fourth mid. So he's playing, a fifth mid in there on ball. So he's what the Cats are doing. Sometimes they're going with him, but more times than not, they're sitting in extra deep. So whether that's working out or not, they've had a few clearances where they've exited straight out the front door because they've had an extra number in at the stoppage. So interesting to see with what they do, the Cats, to negate Petrarca's influence or their midfield influence in the second half.
Dace, what do you do with Max Gawn? We've seen him float forward a little bit, and before he did have those couple of weeks out with his injury, we were seeing him go forward and have a real impact, particularly when that forward line was looking a little bit impotent. Do you go with that again in the second half?
Yeah, we've seen a bit of it tonight. I guess that's a luxury you have. If Jackson's not in the ruck, you can put Gawn in there and vice versa. His impact as a forward is fantastic, but I think he has the greatest impact going forward when he is testing the opposition ruckman. So he gets up, and his ability to cover the ground and connect the ground, whether it be behind the play, but when he senses the moment to lose his opponent and just puts the big head down, gets the big arms swinging, almost Happy Gilmore style there with Mr. Larson after the green jacket, just to want to get to the goal line and then produce and be a target. That's where I see him doing more damage rather than playing as just a genuine forward.
And obviously here at GMHBA, he enjoys doing that after the final siren as well.
He does indeed. Well, for Choice Hotels around the grounds, need a break? Book direct and save with Choice Hotels, choicehotels.com. Ash, where are we headed tomorrow night?
Yeah, big game, 8th versus 10th. We're going up to Sydney. It's Sydney Swans taking on the Western Bulldogs, Sarah.
And my gut tells me that the Dogs usually perform well against the Swans.
They do. I think they've won their last 3 at the SCG against Sydney.
So that's going to shape the 8 indeed. All right, the halftime segment, Amy Clangers. Who covers Clangers on and off the field? Amy does. And this one, well, it happened even before the first bounce.
Whether or not that is the improvement that they wanted or desired, you could actually see they've gotten better throughout this season. That actually scared the crap out of me, those fireworks. So, for him to get that now, and it is the pressure of next year, it's going to be a big thing, but an easy sell over the preseason to try and find improvement because players want to play finals. They're not there just to be competitive.
Boy, oh boy. That's the fireworks going off down there and scaring the crappers out of everyone. Come out.
Yeah, so it's retro round here at GMHBA Stadium, and I think that's why, Days, there were fireworks.
I'm not sure. I was mid-conversation and mid-chat and Dad said that thank God there's no cameras here because I went about a foot upright and had to just sort of tap around the back area of my bottom and just make sure everything was still in check.
Daisy, Kate, Chua, fantastic for you. We've got a massive half coming up for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks Footy. It's the Cats, 5-8-38 over the D's, 5-4-34.
That halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
From Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Hard yakka. Toughness is our DNA, and we don't take shortcuts, Daisy.
We certainly don't. Our legendary status is ingrained in our heritage. Modern, durable quality.
We don't play by the rules, we write them. That's why we've designed the ultimate men's and women's gear and boots for your no-nonsense lifestyle.
Designed to work hard on the job or off, whether you're chilling on the weekend or heading out to explore the great outdoors.
So get the gear that makes you feel like a legend. Head to your nearest stockist or hardyakka.com.au.
You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks football just about to get underway here in the second half. Geelong with a slender lead, increased from 2 points at quarter time to 4 points at half time. 5-8-38 Melbourne, 5-4-34. Joey Montagna about to call the action. Daisy and Kate here. Sarah downstairs. Ash is with us as well. It's still very, very tight, Days.
Yeah, it certainly is. Just an interesting one from the Cats. It looks like they're sending blitzarves into the centre clearances and running a little bit with Christian Petrarca. So it hasn't been O'Connor like we thought it may have been. just giving the D something different to look at and something that we didn't probably expect going into this one.
Beacon Trade supporting tradies with over 120 stores, nationwide expert teams and exclusive trade services. A huge range of lights, fans and electrical accessories, making every tradie's job easier. Beacon Trade, let's make life work of it. Little shout out to Jimmy Brown from Food and Bev. Brought up the schnitzel, burgers, the waters. And we're ready for a big second half here from GMHBA Stadium from McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Another free kick plucked in the ruck contest. This time it goes the way of the Cats, to the Bronx cheers from the Cats fans as Stanley wastes no time, drives a long ball inside 50, picked off by Jake Lever. Do you like the moustache, BT?
Not bad. Looks a little unusual on him, though. He's a bit sort of raw.
Lever goes straight down the middle, so an aggressive start from the D's. Ben Brown trying to do the crumbing. He's dispossessed, holding the ball. Cam Guthrie will get the free kick. Umpire's going to call it back. So Guthrie just forward to the centre. Cats going to the left of the broadcast. Doesn't want to go forward to the extra D's defenders. Gorn set himself down the line, so they'll transition from one side to the other. Now Buse, who wants to lower the eyes, did it nicely. Found Isaac Smith 52 metres out. Although Brayshaw was slow to get to the mark, so he's gone back 47 metres. So that's given Isaac Smith the extra 5 metres he needs, Daisy, to get the journey.
Yeah, it certainly has. And if he can be smart enough, and he is, he's asking the question, run straight and back yourself in.
And that's exactly what he does. Uses the arc, although hooks it to the top of the square. Big fly again from Cameron. Stengel at ground level. Misses across the face. First score of the third term. Melbourne 5-4-34, Geelong 5-9-39. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Stengel there went with the inside out on the right boot. Probably should have had a snap on the left there. Not far out at all. So all he had to do was really make connection with his left boot and he would have kicked it.
Brown, little gather along the ground. Immediately a handball out. And here goes Petrarca. Petrarca inside 50 without direction. Tui marks. Plays on little tip ball over the top, looking for Smith or Dangerfield. Dangerfield got it. Handball now to Isaac Smith. His short ball to Stengel. No one comes at him. He'll get around Gorn pretty easily. Gave the handball to Guthrie. Now Guthrie goes inside 50. Wide to Rowan. And he takes the mark on the boundary line about 25 metres out. And will make a decision on the drop punt or the snap around the body.
Well, he's playing inspired footy tonight, Gary Rowan. He was the one on the back of that Stengel snap. He was the one again who's crashed the pack. So his effort and intensity, as we said, the want to feel contact tonight has been first rate.
Looking a little uncertain how to approach this. Eventually decides to go around the corner. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent from Rowan. Kicks the goal, got his second. 6-9-45, Melbourne 5-4-34. On the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, it's a really nice finish and a good passage of play from the Cats down this wing here on the members' side. But it's the inside 50 that's a concern from Christian Petrarca. He had little Cozzy Pickett running shotgun with him. Could have used him and brought him into the game. He hasn't had the biggest night. Instead, he looked, he blasted away rather than using the runner. Fritsch was going back towards goal, sensing that they may have been able to use the overlap. And in the end, it was Tui who kept his eye on the ball, came off and took the easiest of intercept marks.
Yeah, and just so hard to defend that turnover. I know that it was deep inside the Cats' defensive 50, but just slingshot straight out. They had the overlap numbers straight away. Stengel, it was just a handball received and then an easy kick out the back.
Well, again, Melbourne dropped off, but Geelong used their numbers high. They used it, they bypassed Jake Lever, and they found the mark inside 50, which is priceless tonight. So the Cats lead by 9 points for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Guthrie holding the ball. Going to go the way of Viney. There was Chew told us. Had a huge first half. He's had a huge 6 weeks, Jack Viney. And he's just going to drive it long and flat towards Gorn. Inside 50. Brown again doing the roving. Done that a couple of times tonight. Goes right to the goal line, but getting back, Zach Guthrie takes the mark. Last line of defence.
Umpire blew his whistle a little early there, I reckon, Joey.
Spilled it.
Yep.
Just paid the mark. And Melbourne have set up well defensively. So Guthrie's going to have to go long and wide. Gorn and Salem could raffle it. Instead, they let the ball go out of bounds on the full. It'll be Christian Salem who'll take the kick.
Put on the line. Yep, thank you.
Pretty easy choice between him and Gorn, I reckon. So Salem got it half forward here. About 75 metres from goal. 45 plays 34 Geelong's way. Goes inside 50. No one could get on the end of it. Umpire calls play on. Guthrie might have been taken high. Umpire Robert Finley says no, we'll ball it up. 40 metres out from Melbourne's Barwon River end goal in this third quarter. Haven't been in front at any of the major changes, the Demons, but not less than a goal in it. Viney, little handball here. Cam Guthrie up and under. Picked off here by Langdon. Langdon banged it around the corner, but Taconing will get back and take a safe mark in the last line of defence.
The ball down Melbourne's end, but Cats holding up defensively. So De Koning again will waltz out and go long and wide. Big pack of players. Salem sat at the back. Mopped it up, gave it to Langdon. Clayton Oliver getting busy as always. Salem tried to fend off Holmes. Cats pressure again, excellent. Umpire said he just got a little boot the ball, so called play on. So no free kick. And the quick kick from Stanley's been picked off by Harrison Petty on the wing. And again, he'll just drive it back to where it came from. And again, a big pack of players. So tough to win the ball inside 50 for the Demons. Harms goes along the ground from 40. It was a good effort. Dribbled it all the way to the goal line, but just through for a behind. So Melbourne 5-5-35. Geelong 6-9-45. That's an even 10 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Oh, Smith's kick out of bounds on the full after trying to extricate the 50. And Chris Scott looks a little disgusted. Free ball here to Lever. Man on the mark at 55. So Lever starts his approach from the perimeter piping. Bangs the ball hop. Henry in front. Good hands. Double grabber. Got it. No problems. Brings it in. So getting a lot of opportunities. Time in forward half here, Ash, in this quarter.
Yeah, BT, Triple M Red Z. Melbourne 60%. Cats only at 40.
Yep. So Melbourne just dominating their end of the ground at the moment. What are you thinking, Days?
Oh, just the retention going inside forward 50 if you got that, Ash. It seems like the Cats getting some more open play and Melbourne just banging it straight back into the Geelong numbers.
Yeah, spot on. Kicks retained inside 50. Geelong going at 56%. D's only at 42.
Little soccer off the ground there by Holmes. Picked up by the pig Hibbard. Hibbard's handball looked a little ordinary and he gets a free kick for holding the man after he disposed of it with that handball.
The D's will look to build their attack from half-back. Geelong have set up well, so Hibbard wants to try and stretch the field. Comes inboard to May. Short to Brayshaw. True centre half back. He's going to go back to Hibbard. He's now got a little bit of time and space if he wants to take it. He does. Runs. Hits Gawn on a long lead. Good defence from Stanley, although the umpire said illegally. Just got him over the shoulder. What's the free kick count, Chu?
Triple M Red said.
Cats fans seem like it's not going their way.
13-12 Melbourne's way.
Nothing from to complain about. Gawn goes into the pocket. That's a beautiful kick from Max Gawn. Found Petrarca inside 50, but he is 50 metres out up against the boundary line.
And both of his goals have come from 50 tonight, Joey.
He probably prefers it here where he can just relax into his natural arc. He'll wheel out.
15 gone!
He'll either hit it flush and kick it straight through the middle, or he'll have a slight shank on it.
Still a lot of dark clothing around us. I scan the stands.
Petrarca's already got 2 from 52. He struck that magnificently and it's hit the post. Halfway up. It was a good hit. But just the one behind. So Melbourne 5-6-36, Geelong 6-9-45, just hanging in defensively at the moment. The Cats, that's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories, making every tradie's job easier.
Jeremy Cameron marks at half-back, wheels and goes to O'Connor. O'Connor immediately plays on, kick out very wide here, looking for Myers. Graham Myers, able to shake Brayshaw off. Beautiful kick back inside. And mark taken by Mitch Duncan. And Duncan will line up directly in front, 35 to 40 metres out.
Well, a little bit of a set play there from the Cats. Obviously, the ball been living predominantly in their forward 50. Jeremy Cameron came out this side. They created a big vacuum of space through the corridor. He looped around on his direct opponent, Jordan it was. Tui, knowing that, just pulled the trigger up the guts. Really smart passage of play, because obviously when the ball is down there for such a long time, the Melbourne defence can get really well set behind it. It takes a special passage of play to break that open.
So Duncan, from 35 metres out, directly in front, laid back on it a little and lost it to the right-hand side in a minor score. So 5-6-36 to 6-10-46, the Cats.
And let's see if they can build some forward pressure here, Geelong. Melbourne have kind of been moving the ball at will inside their forward 50 for this third term so far. So if they could really build some pressure on the footy, don't let easy marks, uncontested plays for Melbourne here so they can go coast to coast, put them back under pressure.
And May this time went short to Hibberd, who goes long this time, and in front, taking a strong mark, was Blitzarves.
Really well done by Geelong again, just rushing Hibberd as it was. Actually, May it was kicking out from full back, so forcing him to take the short option rather than allowing him to run that 15 and go long.
O'Connor looked inboard and then instead goes wide towards Dangerfield. He slipped. Ball goes over the back, out of bounds, inside 50 for Geelong. They lead by 10 points. 46 to 36.
Geelong ruck.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments today. We've got Dale Thomas, Kate McCarthy. Seabus Super making hard work pay off.
Boundary throw in. Hawkins. Knocked down here, Neil Bullen. Ball pinned to him. The bright lights of this magnificent stadium lighting up Geelong. Most people in Geelong are going to turn their lights off so they can turn the lights on here. There's not a lot of power around Geelong. So that's what they do here, Joey. There's a bit of a skirmish going on out here. Oliver and Jackson. Eventually the ball comes out. Melbourne go wide to Harms, and Cameron got rid of him with a bit of a nudge in the back. So just a little standoff here at the moment. As the free kick has gone to Jeremy Cameron. Half forward here, looking to get it inside 50. Goes short and finds an opportunity here with Duncan. He goes very, very wide. Picked up in the end there by Menengola. Got the handball to O'Connor. He fumbled it. Knocks it out towards Smith near the boundary line. Brayshaw put pressure on him. Ball goes over the line and out of bounds.
The Cats have done that so well all night, from 80 metres out, just finding one extra kick going inside forward 50 that then allows that Melbourne defence and forces them to pull out, rush at the kicker, and on the back of that there's pockets of space that they've been really good at using.
Just building the pressure here, Kate. This is what you wanted to see from Geelong. It's now in their half. A couple of stoppages. They've won the ball back a couple of times, and now Menegola will kick a high ball to about 20 out. Rowan's been lively. So's Myers. Couldn't take possession, but did well to get the handball to Holmes. Here's their chance. Holmes around the body. He's got the goal. And the Cats get out to a game-high lead at 16 points. And in a tight, low-scoring game, that's a big buffer. They're 7-10-52. Melbourne 5-6-36. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. 12 minutes gone, third term.
Well, you just felt as soon as Geelong went inside 50, they needed to just be able to build some pressure and keep the ball down there, and that's exactly what they were able to do. An intercept mark from De Koning, as you said, Dave's forcing Stephen May to go short. Then from that, they were able to just keep going back and forth inside 50. Lots of pressure. They haven't been afraid, as you said, to take that extra kick, but they haven't really cared how far out or how wide it's been, which has given them the opportunity to really slingshot and get the ball deep inside 50.
Red Z Lenders, Ash.
This is the scores from stoppages. In their prelim final, Geelong only scored 19 points. They were outscored by 82. They've posted 3-5-23 to Melbourne 1-1-7.
5 of the last 7 goals have gone to the Cats in this game. And just starting to edge away, as Joey mentioned, 16-point margin and clearance to go with that out of the middle. Goes to Tom Atkins. High ball. Cameron making ground. Couldn't trap it. Got it on his shins in the end. Over the line, out of bounds, half forward here for the Cats. They'll have another boundary throw in. 52-36 in favour of the Cats.
Just another shout to Gary Rowan there. There was the one again who created that contest. So yes, it hasn't been the biggest number by impact and actual physical stats, but in terms of effort and providing contests, he's been outstanding.
Another clearance win to the Cats. Chain of handballs. Dangerfield closer now. Selwood has Gary Rowan out the back. Just over his head. Couldn't quite get there. Couldn't get his arms free. And now Hibberd deep in the pocket. Has to just scunge one along the boundary line, but he'll take that. And they get a boundary throw in, 40 out. What are the clearance numbers, Stu? The Red Z Lending. Cats dominating.
They are. Plus 10, 30-20, 11-4 out of the middle.
Ash Chua with all the Red Z Lending stats. Loans for the self-employed. Red Z Lending. Boundary throw and attacking 50 here for the Cats. Hawkins to do the ruck work. Does it well, almost chestied it. Bowie got the handball away here. Hawkins is wrapped up. This Melbourne player, Viney, in the tackle, eventually came out to Bowie. Gee, it gave him a long time. If Duncan traps this, they're away. Keziah Pickett's right on his tail. Duncan did very well, but so did Pickett, not allowing Duncan any opportunity all to run away. And now the ball is very much in the hands of Jackson, and we'll have a ball up at centre half forward here for the Cats. Starting to pile on the pressure. Umpire lets it go. Jackson doing the ruck work. Blitzarv's there as well. Menengola handballed out to O'Connor. He took him on. Very lucky to get the handball back to Menengola. Menengola goes forward. May was going to attack it, then decided to wait back for the bounce. Now the opportunity play on. Melbourne under enormous pressure in the back end. Comes back to May by handball. His kick is out of bounds on the full, and that'll be a Menengola ball.
A lot of out on the fulls, too. There always seems to be a lot of out on the fulls down here.
Especially on the outer side of the ground as well, Joey.
Yep, it's been 3 this quarter at least. Geelong just turning the screws on this one. They've had the last 5 inside 50s, and they'll probably make it 6 because O'Connor's got the ball, 70 out. He's going to drive it to about 30 out. Gary Rowan doesn't fly this time. Cameron did. Blitzarv stayed down. Petty wraps him up. Tough going here for Melbourne. The champs are under pressure. Just holding on defensively. Can they clear this congestion and get it down their end? Hawkins tried to slap it out to space to Dangerfield. Another snap and another miss. That's 4 behinds for Paddy Dangerfield in this one. Geelong 7-11-53, Melbourne 5-6-36. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Short little ball into the pocket here and just slow it down through Langdon. Told to go, and so he rips it towards centre wing. Ben Brown will fly from behind. De Koning in front, come down with the footy, but it was in Brown's hands. Gee, De Koning is ultra impressive. Do you think one day he will go forward? Is this a learning process, or is he just a good defender?
It'll be interesting to see if they ever do swing forward. I think at the moment he's so good down there that you'd want him to continue to grow in that role. He's obviously only been there for a short amount of time.
Taylor, beautiful handball to Duncan. Duncan, a neat foot pass. He's normally very good. He missed Hawkins on the lead, and it was a pretty easy one as well. Petty picks it up, bangs it back, but it's like a brick wall there as Blitzarves takes it over the line, and we've had about 4th boundary throw in that half-forward flank reason in the last 10 minutes, Kate.
Yeah, well, with De Koning, if he does want to switch forward or they do want him to develop as a forward, he's got 2 pretty good key forwards down that end to teach him, for him to learn off in the next few phases of his career.
Geelong just dominating this last 10 minutes or so, and they'll win another clearance. Guthrie feeds it back to O'Connor. This is putting all sorts of pressure on the Melbourne defence. Dangerfield had to go back to the fight. Well done, Bowie. Boundary throw in. Get it land. Sarah Ollie, Bob Jane T. Mutts.
So far, clean bills of health for both sides. That means Quinton Narkle unactivated for Geelong and Jaden Hunt for the D's. And BT, sage assessment, I agree with you. Lots of dark jackets about tonight.
Oh, come on, Sarah.
It's a winter thing, Sarah, you know that.
I agree.
Don't fall for it, Sarah. Another boundary throw in.
It is, they just won't admit it.
BT, your mates in the construction site, some of them are dead set cheering now. Their hands are out of their pockets. They're clapping good plays.
They're on.
They better not be getting paid for this.
$106.50 an hour. They're on. They're very happy with their little position over there. They've been ringing their wives and girlfriends. Opportunity here. In some cases, both. Danger. Menengola. Atkins. Little soccer. Hawkins. Fancy tap on. Didn't get it done. Langdon's got it. He was immediately tackled by Close and ball pinged in. So they are battling and battling and battling, and they are retaining the ball and having the game played in their forward half of the ground for the last 10 minutes.
What are some of the numbers, Chew, this quarter that are standing out?
Spot on. They haven't been inside 50 for 10 minutes, the Demons. The Cats now, the last 8 entries. Geelong twice as many clearances in this term as well.
Credit to the D's though, Daisy. They're just hanging in defensively. That's what good sides do. They can't concede a goal in this last passage of play here.
Well, that's what Geelong did for the first part of this game, this quarter, I should say. And then on the back of that, we're able to get a really good look going the other way and score against the flow of play.
You feel something's going to give you these next few minutes. Boundary throwing inside 50 for the Cats. Melbourne again will try and clear, but again, another boundary throw-in, outer side GMHBA.
Just to Sarah Ollie's point, we just saw there on the Harvey Norman replay, one of the, Ben Brown was having a shot for goal, and one of the construction workers in the background on the phone giving the thumbs up, and the shuckers really getting caught up over there, the boys.
No, they are. It's construction, but it's not really being constructed. Opportunity ground level. Dangerfield. Beautiful handball to Isaac Smith. Runs onto his left. Got within Isaac Smith range from 50. Beautiful ball from Smith. All of the Geelong players get to him and congratulate him. And what a goal that was, and the biggest margin of the night. Ash tonight.
Spot on, BT at 23 points.
59 plays 36, game 250 for Isaac Smith, and beautiful goal it was on the run from 50.
Well, last week, Days, we were here when it was Mitch Duncan's 250th, and they did absolutely everything they could in the dying seconds to get him a goal. They do not have to do that this evening. Isaac Smith, perfect execution. You saw as soon as he got a little bit of a run up, his kicking on the run is just exquisite as we have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Just outside 50 and finish it off perfectly.
What are the clearances this quarter, Chu? Red Z lending.
Triple M Red Z, Joey. Clearances are 9-5 Geelong's way, but they've scored 2-1 from stoppages. Melbourne zip.
So 23 points now. The reigning champs are under pressure. Back in the middle. McDonald's and Ream hot water. Viney snuck out the front door. Gives the handball back to Harms. Wants to go on his left, but the Cats' pressure again's enormous. Dangerfield streaks away with it. Has Gary Rowan on the lead. Dropped the mark. Well done, Lever, but then goes back and gets it. And couldn't get past the Oliver tackle. Although he's going to get a free kick for high contact. Gee, Mitch Duncan, it was a great smother at centre-half back. The D's were out.
Please, time back on.
And they certainly needed some field position too, so instead of it going deep into Melbourne's end, Geelong now get a chance to go inside 450.
Rowan goes to the hot hand of Cameron, who's been awesome this year. Couldn't take the mark. Bowie wraps up close. There's still 7 minutes to go in this third term. Only 3 goals kicked, and they're all to Geelong. Rowan, Holmes and Smith sees their 4-point half-time lead out to 23.
Yeah, box next door, like Geelong supporter he is, and sometimes he really plays up badly. And he is today, over the line now to bounce. In that commentary box days. Mad Geelong man, can't help himself. And, oh boy. Just not sure he actually invoices for these games, but we'll see. The back door is Neil Bullen and works for Hutchie's mob. Tackled and thrown to the ground, and unusual customer. Might have been involved with Smokey Dawson a few years back. Up down here from Gawn. Just chittering here, Stengel. Thrown to the ground, almost near the boundary line, and no clear and evident free, says Robert. So we'll have a ball up near the boundary line.
Trial by 23 points.
Just in conversation.
Just talking to yourself there, BT. Not much was happening.
No.
Still being played. This whole quarter feels like it's been played this outer side. And it's been in the Cats half forward end for a long, long time. Melbourne just struggling to get anything going. Oliver's starting to get frustrated. Cats fans starting to get vocal. They're just getting a bit chirpy, the Cats fans. They sense something. Stanley, lucky not to give away the free kick again in the ruck. Oliver got the handball to Neil Bullen. Back to Gawn. Now Salem on the left boot. Can they get the ball forward here? Jackson couldn't take the mark. Spills to the back. Cozzy Pickett's been relatively quiet. Sparrow goes hard. Beautiful handball to Neil Bullen. Here's a chance. Out of nowhere. Melbourne get the goal they're after. Just like that. That's why they're the champs. They respond after doing a lot of defensive work. And they go to 6-6-42. They get it back to 17 points. Geelong 8-11-59. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Just over 6 minutes to go, third quarter.
Well, that's what you need to do. Just find a way to grind and graft a goal out of nothing. Its ball's been out on that outer side, and it came from nothing. Again, a big contest and just the want and will to scrap, fight, roll up the sleeves, get dirty, and then make the most of that opportunity. That was their first inside 50 for 15 minutes, so they've been defending for their lives and done a pretty good job of it too, for all of Geelong's dominance in field position, not really transferring that into some serious scoreboard pressure, although they do find themselves in front. But well done to the D's, as it was well done to the Cats earlier in this quarter when they held up and then went the other end and scored.
Some really good work from Tom Sparrow too. Just put his head over the footy at the contest and was able to wheel the ball forward to get it out to Neil Bullen.
So plenty of opportunity still left here for the Demons. A free kick out of the middle to Petrarca, so this will make a big difference as well. So all of a sudden, just in a minute or so, the complexion changes ever so slightly. Petrarca hoists a very high ball on the head of Gawn. Punched away from him by Stanley. Bowie's onto it, got the little handball to Viney, dished off to Brayshaw. The ambidextrous Brayshaw went right and missed Jackson on the lead and goes over the line out of bounds, around 35 metres around from Melbourne's Barwon River in goal.
Melbourne!
They're struggling with their efficiency, Melbourne, all game. Sure, it's been an issue for them coming into tonight.
Especially inside 50, that vital kick, the money kick, that's the one where they've fallen down.
42% their kick retention inside 50.
Jackson and Stanley. Sparrow, who was influential in that goal. Oliver goes in hard. Couldn't get it out cleanly. Another ball up.
And they've only taken 5 marks inside their attacking 50. Previous 2 matches have been averaging 15, the Demons.
AFL average for their retention?
AFL average is 53%.
Secondary stoppage. Again, Jackson goes to ground. So Stanley grabs it out of the ruck and kicks it to the centre circle. Gary Rowan's got 2 to beat. That's Hibbert and May. Hibbert 1 out. Petty. Now Salem has a look at the game. Had Sparrow, who slipped over when he was going to take the uncontested mark. And now the Cats will reload on the counter.
Oh, Tui with a beautiful pick-up and handball give to Guthrie. And Guthrie's kicks a shocker. Put it down the throat of the standing still Salem. He goes wide and finds the ball in the hands of Hibbert. Hibbert here, deep on the wing. So just getting a little bit more ball now, Melbourne. Kicker's not great, and Henry's able to mark. He looks across the ground to try and clear out with the switch, but there was nothing on there, so that's not going to be a way to go. He could risk Holmes, but the ball would be in the air a long time, so that's why they pick off these shorter balls rather than throw it up. Tui now sees Holmes eventually, and Holmes marks on the half-back line. Little kick down the line is a shocker. Taken here by Bedford. He runs to 50 and now goes for the short ball. Bit of a nudge in the back by Henry, but I think it got over the top. I think it's a goal. I don't think anyone touched it. It is. So Bedford kicks the goal, and they've got 2 in a row, Melbourne. And all of a sudden, just a little taste. 8-11-59 Geelong. Melbourne 7-6-48 on the Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a messy passage coming out of their defensive 50. The ball was held up on the far side, and every other time tonight, they've just taken the easy kick, taken it out to the wing, and then gone long down the line. That time, got it out to the wing and just really tried to pull off a kick that wasn't on. Turned over straight away, and Bedford was the beneficiary. He was trying to hit up Fritsch. Fortuitously, it just went through the hands and went through for a goal.
A great decision, though, once he did get the intercept, to go back at the Geelong defence, because you can't defend that. There's no way you can be set up behind the ball there. So he had the option to go short or the option to go to the longer one. And then serendipitously, it went over the back for a goal.
Like a good side, they've kicked 2 in a row, back to 11 points. And we're back in the middle. Clayton Oliver. Handball to Viney, not going anywhere. Wrapped up by Guthrie. Of course, McDonald's, the 100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today. 4 minutes 12 left in this third term. Close. Wins the clearance. Gets a little 30-metre ball inside 50. Dangerfield resting forward. Couldn't take the mark. Brayshaw's kick smothered. Handball gets out towards Dangerfield. He's already had 4 cracks at it. Got the handball to close. Might have been taken down without the footy. Umpire said no. And now the D's. Chain out with handball, and then a kick from Petrarca as a shocker, straight to Holmes, gives it to Stengel, around the body, but well done Petrarca. Made up for his mistake with an excellent smother, saved a certain goal, and now he wins it back and clears for the Demons.
He does, bit of a mongrel kick out of the pressure zone here. Duncan went and got it farmed off the handball to Stanley. He didn't make great connection with his handball, and therefore it's coughed up. Melbourne got it here. Sparrow just got the kick away. Gee, Henry had to work back with the flight of the footy. And did it bravely. Took a nice mark at half back. He transfers side with a pretty ordinary ball. I know it gets to Menengola, but in the end it was not worth it. Spent so much time in the air. Beautiful low ball up the corridor from Menengola to Cam Guthrie. How many's Cam Guthrie had tonight, Ash?
14, kicked the major.
Guthrie wide here to Menengola. He marks it just on the wing. Neat little ball forward and opportunity for Blitzarves. Gave the handball to Smith. Smith to Selwood. Selwood back inside. Fends off one. Now the little ball was Neil Bullen. Spills to Hawkins. Hawkins got the handball away. Out the back door it was. Got to go back and get it. O'Connor did well. Got it to Smith on his favourite left side. And he defines to Koning. To Koning from 50. Didn't even think about the goal. Short kick to Cameron on the lead. And Cameron has marked 35 metres out. Almost directly in front.
It's been the use of the overlap handball from about 65-70 out, which has been able to really negate that drop-off defender with May and Lever, obviously, and even Petty at times, and just their ability to use that and then be willing to take the wide kick before going back inside.
29 minutes into the third, he hasn't kicked a goal, Cameron, and this won't be either. He's yanked it a little bit, and a minor score here, so 60 plays 48 in favour of the Cats. We've played 29 and a quarter minutes in this third. We've got 2 minutes remaining in the quarter.
May always goes out to that Left-footed side finds Salem.
More workers have arrived out there.
Called up a couple of their mates, said there's plenty of room here. The kick goes long down the line. Geelong will win it back. Isaac Smith just a little bit slow to get that handball to Guthrie. So the tackle was applied. Now a lot of numbers around this ball. Half forward for Geelong. Myers gets a little boot to it. Brayshaw only as far as Cam Guthrie. Throws it on the boot. There's a lot of players back there, and it's Melbourne who've got the numbers, and Harrison Petty takes the mark. Deep in defence. Minute 30 left on the clock. Cats by 12. Led by 2 at quarter time, led by 4 at half time. Kick goes wide towards Gawn. Picks up his own ground ball and then just drops it. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. Crowd not holding the ball. All of them in their dark jackets out there. It'll be thrown in. Minute to go. Just forward to the centre wing in favour of the Cats.
A couple of occasions tonight where they haven't given the first option, I guess, most of them being handballs. Only a couple, it's nothing to get too dramatic about, but he was Duncan now from that stoppage around the corner, and mark taken by the Demons. Angus Brayshaw goes wide, makes it a little hard for Hibbert. He marks, short kick, all of this in the back line to Viney. Viney marks as well, but they've effectively maintained possession without going anywhere. Viney now wants to grab a little bit of ground as he sends it down to the wing, and a mark taken here by Petrarca. Plays on with a handball out wide to Langdon. Langdon straightens up on that right boot. Entry inside 50. Fritz is in the wrong spot, but he did well with the body. Outmanoeuvred Guthrie on that occasion. On the left foot, got it going towards the top of the square. Bedford's there. Punched away in the end. A nice save it was from Holmes.
Just on Maxi Gawn, has he taken a mark tonight, Shoeman, for Red Z?
Triple M Red Z leading stats 0 zip.
26 seconds left on the clock. Ben Brown will do the ruck work inside 50 for Melbourne. Dangerfield. How many clearances for him, Chew? Around the body, clears the area. Chance for the Cats. Guthrie's got it. They've got nothing forward of the ball, though. So
8 clearances for Dangerfield.
8 clearances. His kick has to go wide to Holmes. Drops the mark, then just toe pokes it to space. Keeps it in play. I think he'd be happy to see it go out because Melbourne have got the numbers.
Talk about make a mess of it.
He kept it in. He made a meal of that. But it won't matter. And it all sets up for a cracking fourth quarter here. GMHBA Stadium. The reigning champs trail by 12 points. Geelong could potentially go to top of the ladder with a win tonight. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today.
You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Three-quarter time here at GMHBA Stadium, and we've got a tight one, as we've said at numerous occasions. 2-point margin by Geelong at quarter time, 4-point margin by Geelong at half time, and now a 12-point margin by the Cats at three-quarter time, 8-12-60 to 7-6-48. Red Z lending stats, loans for the self-employed, Ash.
Clearances 40 to 23 Geelong's way. Dangerfield still the number one ranked player, 26 touches and 9 clearances.
Bob Jane Team Marts look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au. Sarah.
As you say, BT, it is the Cats by 12 points, but it was 23 at one point in time, and a bit of a hush has descended on the crowd here at GMHBA Stadium. They're sensing that perhaps their side hasn't making the most of their momentum.
Thank you, Sarah. Downstairs, let's get some thoughts. Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off days.
Yeah, well, the clearances is the issue for Melbourne. Not only are they giving it up, and it's not really hurting them in terms of Geelong getting clear looks, but what they're doing is they're getting field position on the back of that and just owning the ball in their forward 50. We saw throughout that quarter then their ability to get in, repeat inside forward 50s and then get looks a goal on the back of that. So if the Ds are to mount any sort of comeback, they need to sort that out. But territory in this one has been critical so far.
Yeah, the numbers for forward half interceptions. Geelong have been able to generate 24, but only score the 1 goal, 3 from it. On the other hand, Melbourne have had 12 forward half interceptions and have scored 3 goals, 2 from it. So that's all on the back of Geelong's pressure, which is currently going at 202. Melbourne just the 189.
Looking to make it 7 wins in a row. Only Melbourne have achieved that this year with their 10 wins in a row from rounds 1 to 10. And 7 wins in a row tonight. And on the back of that, Geelong have got Carlton at the MCG next week.
Sets up for a cracking finish here. Crowd sense it. Umpires in position. Guthrie, Atkins and Blitzarves for the Cats. The D3 for Melbourne. Oliver, Viney, Petrarca. Can you see anything, Daisy?
Well, just the defence of the Ds. They need to stand up again. They've only conceded on average 19 shots a goal across the year. Tonight they've already conceded 20.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy here at GMHBA Stadium, 4th quarter underway. And it's Clayton Oliver, couldn't get the clearance away. Stripped by the Cats. Atkins will get it in deep. Half forward, Gary Rowan stays front square. Got the handball to Hawkins, around the body on the left. Just missed. Fast start again by the Cats. 8-13-61 again from a clearance. Melbourne 7-6-48, and they'll have to go the full length of the field.
Smart from Gary Rowan. He's been crashing packs all night and going up. He knew that time that his opponent had gone into the contest, so he just waited front and centre perfectly.
May high ball looking for Gawn and Jackson. Neither of them could get it in the end. Cam Guthrie went in very solidly. Was tackled by Jackson, and we'll have a ball up on the point of a square at half forward for the Cats. By Simon Meredith. Umpire's been terrific tonight. Stanley, little soccer off the ground by Cam Guthrie, over the head of Lever. Brayshaw just made a beeline for it and won it, looking for Jordan, off Holmes. It goes over the line and out of bounds. We'll throw it in. Still half forward for the Cats. They are kicking to the Barwon River end here in this final quarter, and they've led most of the night with the exception of the first few minutes of the game.
The ball thrown back in. Both teams, as Daisy said, bring up a half forward into this stoppage. Stanley tried to grab it out the ruck, but Jackson onto him. Tom Hawkins in the goal square with Stephen May. Max Gawn up forward for the Demons. Jackson roves his own tap work. Couldn't get boot the ball, but Bowie did. Gets a good torp. Goes towards that Gawn matchup with De Koning. Harms, who started like a house on fire. Holmes, who's been very good. Couldn't take possession. Atkins got the hands free, but only as far as Bowie. This is in the middle of the ground. Sweeps a handball wide to Brayshaw, who has Spargo on a long lead. Takes the mark. Harms works hard for him. Ignores that option. Wants to use the corridor. They're queuing up everywhere, but they all stood and looked. And Atkins got the fist in and then mops it back up for the Cats.
And a neat little kick from Atkins, although it missed Myers on the lead and goes over the line and out of bounds. But it just takes the pressure off momentarily here. Boundary throw in. Half forward for Melbourne. Been a great game, good fun to watch. And we have yet to get a decision on which way this is going to go. Puts arms in front. Viney there to get hold of it. He fumbled and Menengola bangs it forward, got it over the head of Lever. He has to go back towards his defensive goal. Inside 50 nervously. He's caught in a thumping tackle by Jeremy Cameron. He's spun and thrown to the ground viciously. And it'll end in a ball up in the Cats' forward end.
Tom Hawkins and Stanley are both working. I'd almost rather Hawkins take the ruck work in this situation. Clayton Oliver wins the clearance for Melbourne. Heads wide, but Tui's in the box seat. Takes possession. Handballs to Menegola from the boundary line. 70 out, keeps it wide. Gary Rowan again launched and did well just to get a fingertip on it. So it won't be out on the full. It'll be thrown in 30 out from Geelong goal.
Just another different look there the Cats have given. So the set play, Stanley ruck, but Tom Hawkins, obviously when he goes in there, the defender thinking he's going to ruck, Tom Hawkins was the go-to on the wraparound.
Good little set play, Daisy. Now Lever's not sure what to do because Hawkins this time does the ruck work. He went looking for Atkins. Viney with his head in the hole is going to get a free kick. His numbers shoot, Red Z Lending, Jack Viney.
Disposal number 29, leading ball winner on the ground.
Yeah, been good again tonight, Jack Viney. Started very solidly as well. From deep in defence, he just goes out, chewing off a bit of ground, knocked away by Stanley towards the boundary, and Geelong will retain it in their forward end. Right in front of the Melbourne supporters, which are gathered out there on the far side of the ground, and just got the two bays. That's all the Cats would give them. And they're very much in full flight out there. Boundary umpire right in front of them, whips it into play. Stanley missed it. Gawn got a good piece of it. Menengola sold some foot candy like no other. Then went long and deep. Hawkins claiming the free. May claiming the free. They're both claiming the free. And in the end, it goes over the line and out of bounds.
Tom Hawkins has dead set tackled Stephen May there. He lost balance, but in the process thought, bugger it, I'll just spear tack you into the turf.
If I'm going down, you're coming with me.
That's it.
And then was clever enough to look at the umpire like, where's my free kick? He's going to do the ruck work, but Gawn's gone down this time. Melbourne again hanging in. Hawkins has been involved. He's been so sharp. Slips out of that tackle. How does he do it, Tom Hawkins? He's so smooth for a man as big as him. And that's a class finish from the superstar. He gets his first. And Geelong get their ninth. They're 9-13-67. Melbourne 7-6-48. Back out to 19 points. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Well, that might be his first goal for the match, but that is certainly not his first impact. He has had a fantastic night, doing things that may not necessarily get stats for, but just his ability to tap the ball or bring it to ground or even pick up the ground balls at pace. But geez, that finish and that work just really summarises how good he has been tonight. He's had 12 disposals, 1 goal, but 9 score involvements, which is the equal most on ground.
So graceful for a big man below his feet, just clean in traffic, the awareness there and the class to finish.
So light on his feet, isn't he?
Pleasure to watch, soulful he is, BT.
For a heavy man.
Free kick as well. And the advantage. Blitzarves has got it over the top to Myers, who's had a little bit of a fumble. Regained it, banged it on the boot very, very quickly. Goes out wide here. Geelong have got another opportunity. Stangle around the corner with a high snapping ball missed. And it's a 20-point margin as we speak. Lots of time. This is very early action in the final quarter.
Kick from Hibberd. Down the line. Geelong defensively so rock solid tonight. Viney disposal number 30. Jordan. His handball intercepted. Oliver has to go back and get it. Good handball to Jordan. Viney again. This is about 55 out from their defensive goal. Kick long down the line. Tui. His handball made it difficult for Stanley. Harms can burst through. If they get out here, they're away, the Demons. They're queuing up everywhere. Cozzy Piggott, he could have taken possession. Instead, he kicked it into space. Fritsch has got some time. He'll gather. He'll dribble, kick it, and he'll go across the face. Bad miss. They were out everywhere. They had too many options. They're 7-7-49. Geelong 9-14-68. And Triple M IJ, I think a scoreboard, 7 minutes gone, fourth term.
Just a perceived pressure there. That's what Geelong have built up throughout the night. So the first really decent look Melbourne had, that pressure that has built up, they sensed that. Cozzy Piggott forced into error, and then it was Fritsch who had a player on in the goal square in Langdon, just rushed it a little bit and then ended up muffing it.
But that's where you hope your teammates would tell you to take possession, that you've got time, take it, handball it off, and then go from there.
Geelong by 19. Need under the feet handball by Oliver to Petrarca. Got it inside. Pickett around the corner. Snap, bang, goal. Got it. Quick as that, Melbourne. 8-7-55. They trail the Cats 9-14-68 on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. Pickett gets his first look of the night.
Well, that's why they've been the best team now for a serious amount of time, because they have the ability to hang in there. They've been dominated in the last two quarters, really, in terms of field position inside 50s. But when they've got it inside their 50, they have been so efficient at scoring. And that's just a perfect example of that. Cozzy Piggott, not a whole lot of output on the night, but that was his occasion, that was his moment. And he was good enough to take it and keep them just within touching distance here of the Cats.
13-point margin, Joey.
Led by as much as 23 did Geelong.
Yep.
Late in that third term. They've kicked 3 of the last 4, Melbourne. So they've certainly got a sniff. You know they're going to keep coming, the champs. Still plenty of time on the clock. McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M rocks footy. Gaunt slaps it forward, and then Selwood, it's going to be called kicking in danger because he did kick Oliver in the hand, and he is struggling. He's in all sorts there. He's
looking at his thumb. Yeah, his right thumb.
And we know how long that can linger when you get a sore thumb in the middle of winter. So hopefully he's okay. That
hopefully it's broken.
Triple M Harvey Norman replay. That was a flush kick, wasn't it?
He's putting on a performance.
Bonus gift card on selected home appliances now at Harvey Norman shop in store online. BT reckons toughen up. Ball goes inside 50. Piggott lurking again. Good tackle from Tui. Brian Myers is a long way from home, and he's happy to see that ball out of bounds.
It could be broken, Joey, which is it's a broken thumb. And that wouldn't tickle.
No, that certainly hurts, and it would linger for the rest of the year.
Yep.
If he broke his thumb, even if you...
Yeah, not ideal, especially on a cold night. It's never good.
No, Daisy, there was special comments. There's Pickett off the boundary throw in. What about that? Got up at Petrarca, had a snap at goal and got too much of it across the face of goal and goes out of bounds, but they maintain it deep.
Well, you're telling him to toughen up a little bit, BT. I couldn't really follow that. I was a man, if it got below 15 degrees, I wore a long sleeve, so I was never going to be in that camp.
I wear a long sleeve in 30-plus days, so...
So you don't have any alloys up this end, Joey?
Did you wear a singlet under it, Dave?
A couple of times.
Yeah. You can imagine a little light singlet, little warm thread there. Picked up Menengola, handball to Dangerfield. On his left boot, just hammers it wide. Gorn there, so is Lever. They've all come up high now, the Melbourne defenders, and Lever's taken this mark forward of the centre wing, if you like. Immediately plays on now with a big long ball inside 50. Ben Brown couldn't get a run at it. Blitzarves did, knocks it down. Menengola went and got it, was immediately tackled, tried to turn out of the pack, and will have a ball up on the attacking 50 for the Demons. They trail 55-68. 10 minutes into the final quarter.
Gorn at this ruck contest starting to surge the ball forward a bit because they're getting well beaten in clearance. But again, it doesn't matter. They lose out. Selwood, although that reckless handball only as far as Langdon. Back to Brayshaw. Again, another high ball inside 50. And again, Geelong do it with ease. Get the ball out of bounds. 55-68. Geelong lead. 14 and a half minutes left in this fourth quarter. Of course, Ream Hot Water built tough Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, make sure you ask your plumber to install a Ream. So thrown in inside 50 again for Melbourne. Coming through was Neil Bullen. Couldn't get it out cleanly. Dangerfield goes in and gets it again. Got it to Menegola, who's been pretty good tonight, although he dropped it. Good pressure from Petrarca. Just took a little bit too long, and it was a drop kick. And that's holding the ball. And Christian Petrarca will line up for his third, 45 metres out on a 50-degree angle.
And Joe, it's an interesting one. Are drop kicks illegal because of that very instance there? The umpire has to pay a free if someone touches you when you kick a drop kick.
I think so. I think because they have the cues and their black and white rules.
Yep.
So Christian Petrarca, set shots, Stu, not his greatest strength this year.
Definitely not. In his career, 50-52.
So he's 50-50 at best from here. Strikes it really well, though. The champ stepped up when they need him. Petrarca's got 3. And all of a sudden, the Demons are back within 7 points. They're 9-7-61. Geelong 9-14-68. Still plenty of time to play in this one. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Well, that's just it. The cream of the crop rises to the top, doesn't it? That is a very required goal. Petrarca, that's his third for the night, 2 of which have been on the run from 50. That was a set shot from probably about 45 out and just finished it beautifully. And this game is just swinging back in Melbourne's favour. The momentum, the pressure, the field position that they've had in this fourth quarter, they're starting to dominate. Can the Cats hold on?
Well, the D's need to get another clearance here because so far it's been the Cats dominating and then they've had to work so hard to transition the ball length of the ground. So back in the centre, massive centre clearance coming up.
So let's see what happens here. Gawn to Harms. Harms out the back door. So Melbourne get the clearance. Harms going to go short with the ball to Viney. Viney marks just inside the centre square, centre forward. Now sends a long, deep ball, Brown bound. And it comes out the back door. Opportunity here. Handball comes to Fritsch. Fritsch snap. Got too much of it too early. And a minor score. But it's back to a goal, the difference. 6 points the Cats lead by. 13 minutes played. We have 13 minutes left.
Sarah Ollie, Bob Jane T. Marks.
Clayton Oliver's getting that thumb strapped up at the moment. He looks like he is in a bit of pain, BT, so perhaps scans later on the weekend.
Could be broken.
So the kick in from Mitch Duncan to the point of the square. A lot of players around this ball. Harms wraps up close. Yeah, that'll linger for a while. Clayton Oliver with that thumb. He looks to be okay. He's having a drink of water. His numbers true. Red Z Lending. Clayton Oliver.
Yeah, Clayton Oliver, Joey, 27 disposals, 8 clearances.
Not as many as this man, Viney, who wins another clearance. Drives it deep into the pocket. Cozzy Pickett in the box seat. Had back position on Buse. Just slightly nudged him under the footy. Took the mark 15 metres out up against the boundary line. But he'll step out, snap it around his body and try and kick his second this term. There he goes. Hits the post. And Melbourne making all the running in this last 10 minutes. They're 63, Geelong 68. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Interesting that he just took the one step out there. Could have taken 1 or 2 more and opened up the goal face.
Yeah, you could see before he kicked it, he was worried about the Geelong players who had come around the corner to get him as soon as he'd played on. I think that played into his mind a little bit.
So Gary Rowan carried over the boundary line. He will have a throw in between wing and half forward for the Demons. What's the time in forward half this quarter, Ash?
Triple M Red Z BT, 57% now to the Demons.
Yep. Getting a fair bit of it. Stanley. Selwood keeps it rolling towards the Cats. Close was nudged over. Tom Atkins with a ripping tackle. A dispossessing tackle, but Simon Meredith. See, this is where I don't agree with the rule, but you know, it's the perfect tackle. He doesn't dispose of it, yet he doesn't get rewarded for it because it didn't spill out. He didn't let it go. Now Harms in and under, and he's tackled by Stengel. We'll have another ball up on the wing. Umpire Simon Meredith, one of our very best. No ruckman touched the footy. Harms went and got it. Atkins wrapped him up in the tackle. Now he fended off. That has to be
And it is a free kick going the way of Tom Atkins. How many tackles has he had tonight, Ash? You said he's averaging 8.
7 tackles tonight, BT.
So here he is with the footage, got the Geelong crowd going. He's about a half a kick forward of centre wing here. Tom Atkins, umpire said you're taking too long, so play on. Atkins hammers a long ball. Cameron coming with speed. Got out over the back, it does. Picked up here by Neil Bullen, didn't get all of it. Soccer off the ground by Mitch Duncan, back inside 50. Stanley there with Jackson. Jackson did well. Look at Rowan, committed himself in and under again. He's been like a bulldog tonight. And now Spargo with a clearing ball.
Oh, there he is again, Gary Rowan. Smother of the season. Turns the ball over. May couldn't stand under it. Hawkins lurking. So Stengel picks it up. Well done, Jake Bowie got the smother in. It'll spill to Cameron. Facing away from goal. Handballs to O'Connor, who rode the tackle, but he might get pinged. No, ball up. What about Gary Rowan?
It's inspired football, Joey. He is up and about. He just wants. That smother was unbelievable. The D's were out. And good adjudicating, and then again there by the umpire. Kind of looking for the free kick. Raised the elbow, didn't pay it.
Jackson taps it down to Selwood. Could have got a free kick. Umpire let it go. Menegola, he's dispossessed. Turnover. Oliver, forward handball. Bedford went without it. Dangerfield comes through and mops it up. It was Guthrie, in fact. Got it to O'Connor, who's going to get a free kick this time for high contact. Cats fans love it. 70 out from goal. He's going to kick it into the pocket. Levers in the box seat. Well done by Dangerfield. Got a fist in. Keeps the ball in the forward half for the Cats. Thrown in 40 out.
Pressure rating, two-man, off the charts.
It is for the Demons. They're cracking at 211. Geelong quite high as well at 197.
Here's Tom Hawkins with the forward pocket ruck work again. He's got young Jackson this time. What can he conjure up? Jackson goes the front position. Hawkins out over the back, got the footy. Hawkins, little handball towards the boundary line. Close is able to get rid of his man, picks it up, goes the right foot to the top of the square. High ball on the head of Duncan. It's a genuine one-on-one marking with Hibbard, and Hibbard happy to find the boundary, and will throw it in 10 metres around from the Geelong goal. 17 played at 68-63. Geelong in front.
Kick forward the last 5, the Demons. Geelong, you think, need a steadier. Stanley out of the ruck, dribbles it along the ground. Just missed. 69-63. Geelong 9-15. You just wonder, Kate McCarthy, whether a couple of those misses, Stengel and Dangerfield and a few others early in the game, might come back to bite them.
We know how important scoring is against the D's, especially when they give you opportunities like the two of those players had.
May goes corridor. Looking for something here. De Koning got in there, and he knew he should not release the footy. There weren't a lot of jumpers around Cam Guthrie. It was Zach Guthrie. It was, in fact, not De Koning. Well done. It forces the ball up. Stanley out of the ball up, gave the handball to Stengel, who was under pressure. Spills to Selwood, draws the man to Cam Guthrie, bursting inside 50. Goal. Cam Guthrie gets his second. Cats get their second of the quarter and extend the margin to a 2-goal lead with 9 3/4 minutes remaining.
Well, fantastic goal it was, and a real steadier for the Cats. They've had the last 15 scoring shots, and that now for from their last 15 scoring shots, they've had 5 goals, 10. So wasteful in front of goal they have been. But that was the one, that was the moment, that was the opportunity. A real good, clean, shoulders out look. Again, though, no celebration from Cam Guthrie, just a real under-celebrator. Well done to Reece Stanley, who's been good in the ruck. But Selwood delayed the ball, and just a beautiful give and get.
Yeah,
nice finish.
Composure from Selwood there. He was shoulders out. Could have very well had a shot or put it to the top of the square, but knew he had the overlap run of Guthrie. Waited a little bit, gave the handball, which gave Guthrie open passage to goal.
It's the 4 goals coming into tonight for Cam Guthrie, and he's got 2. And that's the margin. Back in the middle, Oliver. His clearance goes nowhere. Guthrie involved again. Forward handball to Atkins. The tackling machine. Taps it into the path of Isaac Smith. Got it on the second goal and then was pretty quick to get rid of it. Just handballed it forward. Keeps the ball alive. Viney been in everything. He's been unbelievable. Sweeps the handball to James Jordan. Stengel again! He's done that a number of times this game. A rundown tackle. Wins the free kick. And he has Duncan running shotgun. 60 out. Goes into the pocket to his best mate Hawkins. May was right there. Brayshaw with a fist. Goes out of bounds, 10 metres around from the Cats' goal. Tyson Stengel. His pressure's been unbelievable tonight.
He and Gary Rowan have been absolutely unbelievable for the Cats. Just the ability, and that one he got the full tackle on, but even just the hands in and the pressure, perceived pressure, outstanding small forward craft.
12-point margin, boundary throw in Geelong's attacking end. Viney there, got the handball to May, had a little bit of a fumble. He mungled a kick, not far, it's going to land with Menegola. Now he's marked it right on the 50 line, and he will go back and have a crack at it. Maybe it has to be his absolute best from here. Umpire's going to give him the full 30. Simon Meredith there. Menegola looking to make it a 3-goal game. And that would be difficult for the Demons. Got close to the man on the mark. High footy might just fall a metre short. It does. Gawn helps it through. And a minor score, 76. Plays 63, is that right? Or is it? Yes, it is. 76 plays 63 in favour of the Cats.
Stephen May been a little bit fumbly tonight, dropped a couple of marks that he could have taken, and that ground ball there had a couple of grabs at it.
It hasn't been his best night, Stephen May, and that kick in from Salem was poor, picked off by Atkins, who has close in the pocket. Well done by Brayshaw again. He just gets an arm in and then goes low and hard. Beats Zach Guthrie to the footy. Handball spills only as far as Atkins, who pops it over the top, and the mark's taken by Blitzarves.
Gee, Atkins has been good, isn't he?
He is a tough cookie. He's probably better than that. He's a very good player. And the kick has found Blitzarves, will have a shot for goal, 35 metres out, 45-degree angle.
I think the thing we love about Atkins is it's the foundation of his game is that hardness and toughness. That's what you get every week. So his evolution has been adding some clearance work, some good skills in and around that.
Reminds you a little bit of Campbell Brown. A little fairer than perhaps Campbell was.
So Blitzarves, an important kick. Oof, just snuck in from behind. So 10-17 now Geelong. And they're 77. Melbourne 9-9-63. So they need 3 goals here, the D's, and 7:16 on the clock. Time starting to become an issue. Triple M IJ scoreboard.
Yeah, 14-point margin. As May plays on again and hits the same spot here. Brown couldn't get it. Jackson there as well. Brown handball, nice to Jordan. Jordan to Petrarca. Inside out slider on the run on the wing here. Falls in the waiting arms of Tui. Tui will just bang it down the line, and he got dealt with after he got rid of it. So that will be a down the field free. Kick will go the way of Close at half forward, and Close saying to the umpire that Melbourne knocked the footy away. And this will slow things right down. So Close with the free, genuine half forward, but way out wide. It's a 14-point lead here to the Cats. Hawkins offering the short lead and finally going to honour that. And Hawkins about 75 metres from goal near the boundary line in that, heading towards that Gary Ablett pocket here. Short kick and to the lead of Mitch Duncan. Mitch Duncan marks. He's still about 65 metres out from goal, Mitch Duncan. Stagnant forward end here. Dangerfield wanting it near the boundary line. That's where it goes, and he marks right where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary line. That is where Dangerfield is.
Pretty much where he had the shot from after the siren in the second quarter.
Kicked it left on that occasion. So he's going to have a ping here. The umpire's given him the full 30 to prepare. Would need a bit of left to right work on the footy here. The superstar Paddy Dangerfield, 0-4 tonight. That is beautiful. That is a long way, and falls a metre short, and it was slightly offline, and then Melbourne panicked a little and threw it to the boundary. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Good result for Geelong. They get to lock it up inside their forward 50, up against the right-hand point post. 5:44 on the clock. The Geelong chant goes up. Gawn, tapped down to Oliver, picked off by Guthrie. Couldn't break the tackle. Oliver on hands and knees, so is Brayshaw. Look at Dangerfield diving all over the top, but he did it illegally. Can't do that, Danger.
Come out.
It'll be Brayshaw in the back pocket, but they have to get the ball moving now, the D's. Time's becoming an issue, but they've got nowhere to go. Geelong have set up beautifully. So Brayshaw's happy to kick long down the line. Sparrow. Luke Jackson's lurking. Stanley happy to kick it off the ground. Hawkins, again another little party trick. Went under the legs with a tap to Cameron, who sees Brad close in space, takes the mark 40 metres out.
That was tunnel ball.
Tom Hawkins, he's done everything tonight. And he's going to set up this shot for Brad Close that could almost be the sealer with under 5 minutes left.
Just the composure from Hawkins there to know that Cameron was behind him, had no one near him.
Close. Handball's off to Duncan, who loads up from 52. Listen to the roar. The Cats are real close to causing a boil over. Duncan's kicked 2. And Geelong are out to a 20-point margin. They're 11-17-83. Melbourne 9-9-63. 4 minutes 30 left on the clock. Daisy, is it almost home?
It's alarm bells. It's certainly there, as everything will have to go right for the D's from here. Interesting that Close didn't want the set shot. He was only the best part of 35 metres out. Gave the handball to Duncan, who released it from outside the arc. Tom Hawkins, though, we've marvelled at him tonight. We've appreciated what he's done as a big, strong, powerful forward throughout his career. But his ability to bring others into the game tonight with just great game sense and awareness, it's been first rate. For the D's, everything's going to have to go well from here. So expect a whole lot of run and gun, overlap, handball, and plenty of corridor play.
And need this clearance here very, very urgently. Geelong have got on the end through Atkins. He dribbled the ball out, and so Oliver cleared the footy from the centre to centre half forward. Good mark taken by Mitch Duncan. The goal kicker a moment ago just goes sideways to Cam Guthrie, and won't be long before they're just wanting to take a little time off clock. And a short ball to Isaac Smith by foot, and he's taken the mark at half back.
And this is where you think the professionalism of the Cats. They understand the game situation. They don't need to do anything reckless. So Smith goes down the line. Dangerfield competes. Atkins has had a huge influence in this fourth quarter. Goes around the body. Jeremy Cameron did enough to stop Lever taking the mark. And then he'll be happy to take a stoppage, 70 out from the Cats' goal.
Even that from, it was Cameron there, the ability to cause the spoil so Lever couldn't take it, but then get possession and just hold the ball in, not get done for holding the ball, but just allowing a stoppage and some time to come off that clock.
Geelong have got the extra number behind the ball in Henry, but it doesn't matter because they win another clearance. Isaac Smith keeps it wide towards the boundary line. Well done though, Lever. And now they have to go. Although Gary Rowan, no, it's Holmes, picked it off. Now Stengel, that might be the sealer. Tyson Stengel started it with his pressure, and he's going to finish it with a goal. And the Cats will most likely be on top of the ladder. They get out to a game-high 26-point margin. They're 12-17-89. Melbourne 9-9-63. 3:25 on the clock. All thanks to Triple M IJ Liquor.
Well, 3 players for Geelong who have had a huge impact on this game. Holmes, Stengel and Rowan, just with their pressure acts, their ability to be in the right place at the right time, and also their ability to just work rate to get to space, work rate to close down space of their opponents. And then Stengel reaps some reward there and gets his just desserts, kicking a goal.
Reds and Lenders, Chew, what do you got?
Well, Geelong, according to my maths, they're on top of the table. I've had to work out the percentage manually. So they're at 135.9, level on points with the Demons, who are at 134.4.
It's a long time since you've gone manual.
Yes, and I was under pressure, BT.
Very, very good, Ash. I'll be checking the arithmetic. Here is Atkins, who's been just outstanding tonight. Little handball comes out the back, and so is this man, Cam Guthrie. Gave it to the man that runs in the opposite direction, and Duncan, he's such a good user. Short kick finds danger in the middle. He nonchalantly plays on through the centre circle with a ball out wide to Selwood. Selwood marks, looks for the lead of his mate Hawkins. And now Hawkins can use the 30. Man on the marks at about 40. And Hawkins, this kick is made for his little left to right slider. Long way. Going to have to kick it 48. And crowd holding their breath here. This will send them into absolute party mode if Tom Hawkins were to convert, and a bit of reward for all of his efforts tonight as well. So he comes in right on 50, struck it well, got it working the other way a little, and a minor score. So 90 plays 63 here in favour of the Cats.
They try and go quick now, Melbourne. Brayshaw, James Jordan. Still back at the wing, along the boundary line. So he wants to use the corridor. Brayshaw involved again. And they're going to transition to the open side. Langdon's got space. Spargo's working hard, but so are the Geelong defenders. And they get across, cut it off. So Langdon has to go back lateral to Brayshaw. Still in their half-back line. May doesn't want to use that thumping left. Instead, he tries to toe poke a little short one. Not his best game, Stephen May. It's been picked off by Buse. And he goes short to Duncan. Close has created space. Salvage over the top. He wants to use him. He will. Blitz halves is in the top of the goal square. Ignores him. Goes even longer. Gary Rowan will take the mark.
He's paid it.
He's paid it. Might have been a free kick for a front-on contact. Either or, it'll be Gary Rowan from 20 out in a slight angle to put the nail in the coffin.
Well, you spoke about the opportunity for Tom Hawkins to get some real reward for effort for the game that he's played. This bloke is in the exact same category tonight. He has been fantastic. One of the better performances I think I've ever seen Gary Rowan play, and it probably won't translate into a huge amount of possessions, but what he's done for his team and his ability to fight, compete, been absolutely first rate.
Gary Rowan just disposal number 9, but it'll be, he's going to say 3 goals. He shanked it.
It's got to be very nearly his best game for the Cats, I think, since arriving. He's done things that have been un-Gary Rowan-like tonight and really beneficial to the team. Here is Cameron. Takes the mark. Might have got an accidental poke in the eye there from Ben Brown, but he's marked it inside the centre square. 70 from home here. Cats fans starting to celebrate. Well under the minute left and just milking the clock here now, the Cats. And short ball finds Zach Guthrie. Zach Guthrie back to Duncan. They clear backwards, and this is just a professional job here from the Cats today. They will win 7 in a row as Asses manually calculated. That's said with some iffiness. They will go to the top of the ladder. And what a win on their home turf here. 10 seconds and counting. Siren sounds. Cats have won 12-19-91 to Melbourne, 9-9-63. They've beaten the Premiers, they go to the top of the ladder.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down at Gardenia Park.
Such a strong performance from Geelong. There was an arm wrestle, but they led every change. It was 2 points at quarter time. There was 4 points at half time, 12 points at three-quarter time, and they end up winning by 18 points. Fair to say they were the better team on the night, really, for big parts of it. Their midfield dominated, particularly around the clearances. Their forwards started it with their pressure and got rewarded later. And their backline, Daisy, were rock solid as always.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Their planning going into it was super impressive. They were brilliant, they were hard, they were tough. They're everything you have to be if you're going to beat a team like the D's. Obviously on their home patch, they play the ground so well. Their ability to move the ball, change directions and expose that Melbourne defence at times, which we haven't been able to say for a very long time, was absolutely outstanding.
Just their ability to apply pressure right from the start, the first siren that came on, their pressure in and around the footy, especially in their forward line, as we go down and hear from Joel Selwood.
And I'm sure it tastes pretty bloody good, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, we'll let us sink in a little bit later, but it's obviously a really special night for us with Isaac playing his 250th, and we want to make ourselves known for winning those games, so really special.
You played against them 3 times last year and couldn't get it done, but where was the difference for you tonight?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we've been playing well of late. I mean, we've still left a lot out there tonight, 12-19, so, we sort of prepared ourselves really well for this period, and, we're running on top of the ground at the moment, which helps.
9 individual goal kickers. Jezza held goalless. He did a mountain of work up the ground, yes, and Hawk only popped up late, so it must be really pleasing to have an even contribution across the board. Yeah,
it was. I mean, our kids are growing so quick. Max and Sam again. Grime played a key role down in our forward line on Lever with Brad Close. There's just, guys contributing all over the ground. It's really special.
You're going to sneak up and have a drink with the boys with the 2011 premiership after this one?
I'm not sure where they are, but it makes tonight a little bit easier anyway, so it'd be good to see a lot of them.
And you did touch on Izzy and, 250 for him. He's had an amazing career, obviously, across Hawthorn and the Cats, but how impressive has he been since crossing over?
Yeah, I mean, he was a nightmare to play against, so it was really hard to get here. We got him here, and he's been so good for our group. And I'm about to miss him getting chaired off, so I'm going to run over.
Start running over. Thanks, Joel.
Joel Selwood there with the 23 disposals and 7 clearances. We'll take a quick break because when we come back, we'll have a look at the Triple M Amy review, the Maccas I'm Loving It moment, and the Triple MVP award, and sum up what was an 18-point victory to the Cats for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Triple M Footy across the Triple M network. We'll be back shortly.
Footy.
The Triple M Footy Review. Amy. Who covers clangers? Amy does. Lucky you're with Amy.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. McDonald's 100% Aussie Angus beef and chunky tomato relish. Catch a mighty Angus at Macca's today. It's Geelong running out winners by 18 points, 12-19-81. Melbourne 9-9-63. Mitch Duncan with a couple. Cam Guthrie with a couple. Gary Rowan also kicked 2 goals. Christian Petrarca 3. for the D's. But it was Melbourne who struggled this game, and it was Geelong who got the job done. And, of course, this is the Triple M Amy review. Submit your fan clanger story to amy.com.au/fansurance, and you could win. Dale Thomas, Kate McCarthy, summarise that one for us, please.
Oh, well, it was awesome from the Cats, their ability to win clearance and get territory on the back of that, but then just pin the ball in their forward half. They got some really good looks on it, but it was the dominance in and around the stoppage. They were fantastic in that facet of play. And as we said, they got the ball down, and Melbourne had no answers. They weren't able to transition the ball as easy as we've seen. It was still a fantastic game, and it took to the last couple of minutes for them to really kick away and put it to bed, but it was just a cracking game of footy, really.
Well, let's get down into the rooms because Sarah Ollie is down there. The players are walking in. Set the scene for us, Sarah.
They are starting to come in now. It's actually Tyson Stenkel who's coming in. How good were his pressure acts this evening? He's been such a star for them and such a find throughout this year. They're just getting information now in those retro jumpers. I was quite a fan of the retro jumpers with the collars, but they are all coming in after Izzy's 250th match. What a win. They're now on top of the ladder. Just a few stragglers still coming in. Tom Hawkins joining. Here we go.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. Hey, we are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played. Hey, at home or far away. Our band is flying high from dawn to dark. Down at Gidinja Park.
So while we wait for Sarah to grab Mitch Duncan, we're going to have a chat to Mitch Duncan, so that'll be great. Kate McCarthy, what were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, just one stat that sort of stood out to me before the game is that Melbourne is averaging 73 points per game against the current top 8 teams. So that's ranked 12th and the fewest of any top 8 teams tonight. Coming up against the second seed, well, now the number 1 seed at the end of this match, just scoring the 63 points. So against those teams that have a tighter defence than those bottom 8 teams, Melbourne really struggling to score points days, and 63 points, so 9 goals, 9 going into tonight against Geelong.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, and obviously Jackson and Gawn play a big part in that. Max Gawn didn't have a mark tonight, so only the 5th time in his career he hasn't had a mark. 78 games since he hasn't featured. That was way back when in round 10, 2018.
Well, let's get back down inside the rooms because Sarah Ollie has one of the superstars of the Cat side and actually played an awesome game today, Mitch Duncan.
Well, Mitch, it was the 1v2 battle that totally lived up to the expectations. How satisfying to get the win.
Yeah, it's satisfying to win any week, I guess against a team that's been in really good form, you know, for the first half of the year and the back end of last year, the reigning premiers. So, yeah, it's good to get the win. We're still learning our new brand and, ticking off the people that get in our way, and we're just trying to get our game the best we can for later in the year.
The final score wouldn't suggest it, but it was quite close there in that final term. They got to within a kick. Were there any nervy moments or a sense of, this could be deja vu with what happened the last time that they were down here?
Oh, there always is. You always think of little moments like that through games, but to our credit, we stuck fat and, we managed to keep the ball down our half most of that quarter, and it was nice to capitalise a couple of goals because we were missing a few there, which was good.
Hey, congratulations on the win, Mitch. Congratulations on your own game as well, mate. 2 goals, 32 touches. But we felt up here, it was set up by your forwards' pressure early in the game. We thought Gary Rowan in particular and Tyson Stenkel were unbelievable with their forward pressure, and then they got some rewards later as the game went on.
Yeah, they were massive. I suppose that's what keeps the ball in our forward half, and that's what we're trying to do. That's what we've seen work over a number of years, and those boys are instrumental for that. We were able to set up well behind the footy and keep it in our forward half, and it's great to see them get reward towards the end of the game.
Speaking of setting up well behind the footy, we obviously know how key Stephen May and Jake Lever are for the Ds and their rebound and getting the ball out of their defensive 50. How much work did you guys put into that before the game, obviously trying to take them out of the game? Looked like you used a lot more hit-ups around the 50 arc and then went deeper with the next kick.
Yeah, they're obviously a great duo. We've got a pretty good duo down there as well, so we back them in, with Gary Rowan as well in the air. So they actually they have to play on really good players, so it makes it a bit harder for them to do what they usually do. Ball movement up the ground plays a bit of part of that as well, being a bit braver. So I thought they won their battles, but I thought ours did as well.
This side of the fence throughout the week, Mitch, spoken a lot about last year's prelim and the game that was. Obviously, you guys pretty crook in that game. It came out in the aftermath from that. Was that spoken about internally and a chance to right some of the wrongs from that one?
No, it wasn't spoken about. I think as a senior player, you probably always remember those games. The chance to play in a grand final and you end up getting beaten quite convincingly. It obviously hurts at the time, and then you move on and then you learn from it. I think they beat us all through the year last year, so it was good to get them tonight and peg one back.
And another big week for the footy club. Isaac Smith's 250th this week. Yours last week, another good win. You were able to hit the scoreboard this week. There's something you weren't able to do last week. We were seeing, I was watching the game, how hard you were fanging around just trying to get one late.
Yeah, I was last week. Yeah, I was too buggered by them to kick the ball. I was pushing hard pushing forward that hard. But yeah, tonight they came off, which is good. Obviously, missed an easy one that would usually put in the book, which was disappointing, but it was great to get on the scoreboard nonetheless.
Hey, thanks for your time, Mitch. Of course, you're now sitting on top of the ladder as of tonight, so well done. And then it doesn't get any easier. Big game against Carlton next Saturday at the MCG. But well done on your season, the game tonight, and thanks for joining us on Triple M Footy.
Beautiful, guys. Thank you very much.
Mitch Duncan, what a star. As we said, the 2 goals won, 32 disposals, sets up everything across half-back. He's having an awesome year.
He certainly is. He's fantastic. That Carlton match next week shapes as a cracker. Looking at the run home, though, that's the only game they play in the 6 games against a side inside the top 8. So that is arguably the easier run home. If you look to the Ds, they've got 4 of their last 6 against sides inside the top 8.
Very good. Hey, Ash Stewart for Red Z Lending, give us a good summary, please, from the numbers, what it told us about this game.
Well, the front half game, Melbourne are number 1 for time in the forward half, but Geelong, they're at 62%. They took 14 marks inside their forward 50. Geelong, Melbourne actually conceded the least defensively at only 8. And look at their intercepts in the forward half of the ground for the Cats, 38. The AFL average is 23. Melbourne only 16, and they laid 39 tackles in the forward half opposed to Melbourne at 20, I should say. Percentage clearances, Joey, 54 to 36 Geelong's way. So that's Melbourne's worst clearance differential since round 12. 2018. They lost that stat by 18, and they were damaging with the scores as well. They posted 6-10, the Cats, to the Demons at 3-3.
Daisy, just a quick word. Any slight concerns with Melbourne from what you saw tonight? You've just mentioned they've still got some tough teams to play in the run home. Any concerns, or is it just a bit of a blip?
Yeah, no, I think the concerns are their inability to complete plays inside forward 50. When you come up against the best defence, that's when that can be exposed, and tonight it was. We could see the difference in ball movement. We know that Melbourne have a great defence, but Geelong came in with a clear plan to connect that 70 to 50 metre arc area and then go in and try and find an option, whereas Melbourne were just happy to blaze away, and they didn't get any reward on the back of that or any decent looks. They had a lot of shots, even if they were inside 50, from high and wide on the boundary.
And just that connection from mid to forward, I think, is lacking a little bit. We even see Petrarca opting most of the time when he's got the ball at the top of 50 to go long and have a shot at goal, rather than have that really good connection with a forward that he loves hitting up, like you see with Dangerfield, with Atkins at times, hitting up the leads of Cameron and Hawkins.
And the good one for the Cats is Jeremy Cameron's gone goalless. So he's been arguably their best player throughout the season, obviously leading the Coleman. His ability to get involved in a different way is something that the Melbourne forwards weren't able to do.
There's a spread of goal kickers tonight for the Cats. Choice Hotels around the grounds tomorrow. Another cracking game. Sydney Swans v the Western Bulldogs at the SCG. But the Maccas I'm loving at moment, tonight's I'm loving at moment, happened at the 5th minute mark of the final quarter. It was a Tom Hawkins goal, and here's how we called it on Triple M Footy.
Tom Hawkins has dead set tackled Stephen May there. He lost balance, but in the process thought, bugger it, I'll just spear tackle you into the turf.
If I'm going down, you're coming with me.
That's it.
He's going to do the ruck work, but Gawn's gone down this time. Melbourne again hanging in. Hawkins has been involved. He's been so sharp. Slips out of that tackle. How does he do it, Tom Hawkins? He's so smooth for a man as big as him. And that's a class finish. He put on the party tricks tonight, didn't he, Tom Hawkins? It wasn't his most prolific game, but boy, oh boy, his impact was enormous. And speaking of the impact, the Triple MVP award for homeloans.com.au, the best and fairest when it comes to home loans. It's going to be a tough ask to do the votes tonight, Kate McCarthy, but you have the job of giving us the 3, 2 and 1.
Yeah, it was a tough ask, actually. Honourable mentions has to go to Jack Viney and Tom Hawkins. I thought Viney in a losing side was instrumental and really gave the Ds all the hope in the world that they could have to win this game. And Tom Hawkins, wow. Just some of his little second efforts and tap-ons, and for a big man, his ability to pick up the ball from the ground, very impressive. I've given one vote to Gary Rowan, though. I think arguably his best game in the Cats colours. Only had the 9 disposals, but it was his ability to make an impact without the footy that I was so impressed with. 3 marks, 3 tackles, 2 goals to go with it, but 10 pressure acts as well. 2 votes to Paddy Dangerfield, 31 disposals, 9 score involvements, 9 clearances, 8 inside 50s and 700 metres gained. But 3 votes, I thought Atkins was the most influential player on the ground. 21 disposals, 9 clearances, 9 tackles, 30 pressure acts, which were all the most on the ground for tonight.
What a revelation he has been, Tom Atkins, going in the midfield, going up against the big Bulls for the Ds. They got the job done, the Cats. They won by 18 points, 12-19-81. Melbourne, 9-9-63. The Cats are on top of the ladder as we speak. They'll stay there for this round. What a great start to round 17. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Kate. Thank you to Sarah Ollie, BT as well. Boys at the back, we hope you enjoyed listening to the game on Triple M Footy. Remember, for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.